Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see you guys here. Everyone who's tuning in via YouTube. My name is Ashton. I'm one of the Google trainers, and it's my pleasure to have you guys here today. We have some great sessions lined up for you. Firstly, we're going to be looking at finding a job online and just some of the opportunities that you guys will have. If you go online, you'll definitely find there are some great resources which we're going to go through and ways that you can market yourself the best way. Google Africa is really good to have you guys here. What I want to do firstly is just introduce the workshop to you guys. Hopefully, you're having a good time in the chat. I would like you guys firstly to introduce yourself, as there's a few of you guys in the chat at the moment. So feel free to introduce yourself. We have our moderators who are also in the chat as well. So just to let you know who they are, we have Lizzie, who is from Kenya. Hey, good to have you here. Feel free to say hello to Lizzie. Lizzie will be there as well, sending you messages. We also have Emmanuel from Nigeria as well. Nice to have you here too. So again, guys, feel free to populate the chat. Any questions that you guys might have, feel free to put that into the chat as well. Now, within this presentation, just so you guys know, we will be having some breaks and there will be a pause for questions. So again, my team here will be letting me know what those questions will be, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. So firstly, I want to welcome you guys in. Again, for everyone who's just joining us now, this is going to be our first session about finding a job online. It's going to be 45 minutes, so if you have yourself a pen, paper, a nice drink beside you, please have that ready as we are going to get started right now. Again, just mentioning welcome on the side here. Feel free to make yourself known to our team who is here. So again, very nice to have Lizzie from Kenya and also Emmanuel from Nigeria as well. So guys, please say hello to the team who are on the side, and I'm welcoming your questions as we get to it. So welcome, guys. Hello. As mentioned, my name is Ashton. I'm one of the Google trainers here, and it's a pleasure of mine to be doing this session for you guys right now. So we're going to get started with our first session, which is about finding a job online. Many of you have your phones, you have, computers and so on, but the internet is such a big thing, and there's so many activity which is going on, which is now allowing us to not only present ourselves but find some opportunities in terms of jobs online. So we've got some great tips, some great some things that you guys might be really interested actually in. So hopefully you guys will find this session to be really, really cool. Again, give me those questions. Let's make this as interactive as possible with the YouTube chat here. So welcome everyone. Good to have you guys here. So let's get started. And we're going to firstly take a look at the agenda that we have on here. So if you can't hear me, let me know. I'm literally just going to make sure that my sound is good so you guys can hear me nice and clearly on here. Yeah, so let's get started again if you're not able to. Okay, nice. I can see the chat is doing really well. So let's get started with the session here, guys. So welcome again to our session. So what we'll do is we'll just get started. Now, as mentioned, this is a session all about trying to find jobs online. So this is our agenda today, what we're going to be taking a look at. So as you can see, first thing is let's look at the world of online and let's look at the internet and some of the opportunities that the internet has. We're also going to take a look at some opportunities for some websites that will have, job postings on them and the best way that you can kind of represent yourself, and also how to build a brand online, or maybe look for jobs online too. So here is the agenda for the next 40 minutes actually that we have now. So again, nice to have you guys here. Don't forget, be talking to our moderators on the side. Any questions, any links that I say, you guys can find out. So again, welcome. So let's get started with our first half of the presentation. And what we'll do first is just introduce you to the online world of work. So as you can see, we'll break it up into 4 modules. So we're basically going to introduce the internet first. Let's talk about that, search engines, and how we can kind of use those, and also changing kind of the world, the way the internet and digital technology is changing the work environment. This is something that we definitely want to have a look at, and ways that we can stand out to employees on here too. So again, here just is a run through of everything which is going on. So, firstly, the world has changed. We are getting a lot of connected right now, and you'll notice that when it comes to, just some of the opportunities that are available to us online right now in 2020. There is loads of opportunities. There's opportunities to kind of help us grow when it comes to learnings, perhaps also connecting with other like-minded individuals, but also looking for jobs, having our kind of presence online and seeing if there is opportunities for us. And to be honest, the internet is such a big place, which you guys will know already. And again, however you're accessing the internet, if this is done via your phone or you have a desktop computer, we are all connected, and it's now starting to, get the world to be quite small in terms of the internet. So again, this is definitely something which is an opportunity for all of us on here. Now, the internet firstly started in the 70s, and was really used for kind of like, government purposes. But then as time went on, especially in the 90s, this is where the internet was really starting to be introduced. And especially in the mid 90s, it was, introduced through dial up modems and so on. And also just, again, really simple services. Google came along, and there was also different messaging apps as well, but it was very simple. And the internet really, when we think about it, is just different servers, different computers that are connected together. Now obviously we have wireless, for Wi-Fi. We also have mobile data connections as well, but ultimately, we are all connected, and this has led to so much different activity going online, so much communication going online. So having access to the internet is a gateway to many opportunities and many people, and again, for you to present yourself in the best way. So again, we're going to explore some of this as we go on, but let's break down how we can use the internet right now. So again, if anyone has let's say their mobile phone and so on, let's explore some of the ways that we can use the internet. So again, you can see here, firstly, it's the first thing really is browsing websites. That is the most kind of common thing that we like to do, is go onto a web browser and go ahead and start to, browse the web, search for things that we really want. Maybe it could be shopping, maybe it could be entertainment. But again, we start off with these web browsers and just browsing the web. And that is, again, kind of how the internet really started. It was a one-way thing, literally just reading information that was coming through in a digital form. Then move into communication. When we kind of think about communication, it is expanded such in a big way, really. When we think about it, we have different services like WhatsApp and so on, which enables us to kind of communicate, video call and so on. But again, what we'll probably find is originally where this started was emails, having electronic mail, being able to quickly send messages to people. And that has led to many different ways of communication, but it's definitely allowed us to, communicate a lot efficiently and faster. So again, this is all in our hands right now. We're able to kind of send and chat and communicate with people quite quickly. Also have a ways of finding opportunities. So myself, when I've been online, I've definitely found many different opportunities when it comes to my career or work, or maybe just expanding my knowledge. There's so many different platforms out there where you can learn for free. And I've learned quite a lot of things really from the internet. So again, you could be using the internet not just to, be browsing, but communication, and also just for some of those opportunities to help you just promote yourself and perhaps lead to other career prospects that you might be looking for. Now, there is also much more to the internet. When we look at kind of entertainment, we obviously know that, yeah, there are many different channels, YouTube being one of them. Welcome, as you guys are on YouTube right now. But also, Netflix, all of these different opportunities for entertainment. But it's great because it's also brought us together. When we maybe go onto social media, or if we go onto WhatsApp or so on, we may find obviously there are different videos that are also being exchanged as well. So entertainment is also keeping us connected, especially at a time like this as well. Gaining new experiences and online services are definitely some of the other options that are on here too. So again, this is just to give you an idea really of the internet and some of the opportunities that are in front of us. We're going to concentrate more on just job opportunities right now, but again, just to give you an idea, we have the digital age right in front of us. It's on our phones, it's on our computers, it's a means of communication, means of expanding our knowledge, but then also a means of just promoting ourselves and looking for prospects when it comes to career or just connecting with other like-minded people. So what we'll do now is we'll just take a look at search engines really. And as you guys probably may be using search engines quite a lot, you probably find that you'll have, again, Google could be one of your search engines. Bing is another search engine that we have there too. But Yahoo and so on and so on. But this is great because a search engine allows us to really find what we're looking for. So just by entering in a question, keywords, anything like that, it will bring up the relevant websites that we're looking for. And I'll always say, if there's a question which is on your mind, you can go ahead and you can Google it, because normally you'll find there will be a response, there will be a website, a video, or something. But these search engines, really what they are doing is they are connecting all of the web pages, all of the opportunities, everything that we have online. This is the first portal really that we go to find exactly what we want. So again, using these search engines is really going to help us just to find and navigate the internet the way that we want to. Now, in terms of digital and how it's come to have its effect on employment, you can see here just some stats and how important really it is for us to kind of just embrace digital technology, embrace digital in our lives and also in our careers. As you can see, 45% of businesses hired employees with a technical knowledge in 2019. So again, that is near half when we're thinking about digital employment on here. 50% require some degree of technology skills. So again, this is really important, especially when it comes to most of those jobs that are out there. And again, it doesn't mean that if you don't have these skills, it's the end of the road, because there are many opportunities. There is also online content where you can learn. And again, if you stay tuned, I'm going to give you some of these, which will help you just further your knowledge in digital. And also, 77% of jobs will require a technical skill in the next decade. So, coding, some of these other digital skills that we need, they're really, really going to become prominent as we go into the future. And it's just trying to make sure that we don't have that gap, because obviously the digital gap is quite big. And just taking a look at some of the firms in Africa who face major business challenges due to that digital skills gap, you can see just some of the countries that we have here. And again, it is becoming quite small, but it's a prominent thing just to make sure that we are ready for the internet. We are ready for these digital jobs that are coming out. And if we're not, then how can we use the internet to help us promote ourselves and also learn about these digital skills to prepare us for the future? So this is really important. And I guess what we're trying to say here is, digital is not going away, and it's something that we need to embrace. And if there's means and ways that we can communicate and also learn about some of those opportunities and some further ourselves as individuals, digital is really, really important. And this is kind of the premise of, why we're really trying to say that it's important for digital jobs and digital opportunities really that are out there. So, search. Why should we be using search really to discover some of these opportunities? Now, you might find, search is great because it obviously can kind of give you all listings of jobs that you might be interested in, but also maybe some of the skill sets that are required for you to get to a job. Maybe if you're looking to move to another career or something, you'll find that, just by doing searches, you're going to have a look at some of those job opportunities and some of the requirements that are needed in order for you to fulfill these roles. So again, this is a quick, fast way of trying to find what's around you, what's available, but then also for you to discover, some of the opportunities that might be there for you, but to learn some of those, different responsibilities and traits that they need for these jobs too. So again, this is quite important for us too. So let's take a look at digital impact on business, really, and what that's all about. So, when we think of innovation and creativity, digital has really, really come a long way and it's expanded us. We have mobile phones, we're using apps at the moment in order to, access different services. The apps world has really just become its own thing. It's expanded, kind of from when we've had like, let's say, mobile phones being introduced to us kind of in 2008 and so on. The introduction of just these mobile computers have really expanded people's memories in terms of different jobs and roles that are out there. So this has also been a big thing. Access to learning. I've mentioned this before. So again, the opportunity to expand your knowledge. We're in the information age right now, and we can use, let's say, the internet to find courses online. Some of them are pretty much free. We can jump onto YouTube, we can learn things and expand our mind. So, accessing to this information before may have been just going to a particular place like a library or so on, but we have this in our hands right now. We are in this place where we have this opportunity to learn more, and most of this is at our hands and it's free. Communication, very fast. I can send you guys an email. I can talk to you via the web right now. So this is making the world really, really small. Okay, and accessing that information is also quite easy too, using search engines and various other platforms. But one of the biggest things that I think is amazing about the internet is the fact that we can collaborate live. We can collaborate online. We are sitting in YouTube right now, and imagine everyone here is having a conversation or talking, introducing themselves, but we are in different parts of the world. When it comes to collaboration, we can have, let's say, a Word document that we're working on that we can have online, and instead of just emailing it and having different versions, we can collaborate online. And it's not just at the productivity level of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, but also at the ability of, maybe designers and other things that have all come along, video, which has also come along to collaborate online. So this has made it a lot easier for us to kind of be in different places but work remotely. And again, this is definitely a big impact on digital and why we see a lot of people kind of working in different places around the world. Now, some of the industries that require digital skills, and you can see we've just got a list of one or two of them that are here. I'm gonna say like marketing. I'm just gonna pick up on that, and I'm definitely gonna say marketing in terms of digital skills. The requirement is quite high. Having the ability to actually maybe create kind of digital marketing. And also using some of the tools which are available to us to see and monitor and measure what really is happening. Let's say if we are running a website, or let's say if we have a social media campaign, marketing really, really requires some of that digital skills in order for us to leverage ourselves in that field. Also, when it comes to, let's say, retail and education, these have also seen some big things when it comes to online. So again, this is definitely something that you can see on here. So yeah, you'll definitely know that this is definitely something when it comes to digital skills on here. So again, this is just setting up what we are going to be looking at next. But what I'd like to do firstly is just pause for questions on here. So I want to go over to the moderators. And again, it's nice to have you guys here, just literally to see exactly what you guys say. So, is there any questions that you guys have for us as well? And again, if you can't hear me, I'm going to be louder so you guys can hear me. I'm sure that people may not be able to hear me. But if there are any questions you guys might have, let me know. And yes, we'll get that going on here. So if there isn't any questions, I'm going to keep going on. But again, I'm looking out for any questions. Yes. Can they rewatch later? If you have the link, I'm sure you'll be able to kind of rewatch this later. So again, keep this link in your web browser and it should be fine. And okay, cool. There are no questions. So let's continue going on with our presentation on here. But thank you guys again. Just to let you know, the moderators that are in this, please let them know if you have any questions at all. Again, it's really, really good to have you guys here. Thank you, Lizzie and Emmanuel, who is our moderators on this right now. Okay, so just to really bring you guys back to the presentation and what we're looking at. So let's take a look at some of the digital careers that are out there. And I want to ask you guys really just engage in some of the digital careers that you guys know. So again, the moderators are there. Please just jump in the chat and just let us know about some of the digital careers that are out there that you guys know about already. So it would be nice to get you guys thinking about that. Okay, so what are those digital careers that you guys have in mind on here? Okay, so again, really, really interesting. Just place that in the chat so we can get that going on here. So our moderators should be just keeping an eye, making sure that you guys are just doing that, which is fine. Okay, so in terms of digital jobs, there are quite a few. We're going to go through some of these which are out there. So again, guys, just let me know what you think about this within the chat. And if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer those. So firstly, just some of those careers that require digital skills and are great. Researching is a big thing when it comes to digital skills. And again, there are many ways that you'll need to kind of have some of these skill sets and to be able to fulfill this job. So when we think of research, again, it could be looking at different analytics, graphs, all of those things. But again, it's having that technical knowledge to really understand and know kind of what's going on with that job field. So again, having those skills is quite big. And also data analysis. These are just some of those jobs that have really kind of been utilized the digital skill set that we have on here. So again, this is just some ideas of some of the different career opportunities. Another few that we've got here is coding. Coding is such a big thing in order to be able to kind of create applications perhaps that can go onto our mobile devices or create websites, but being able to kind of know that language and execute some of the ideas that we really, really want. So again, this is quite a big thing. And I mentioned about digital media specialists as well in terms of marketing. So again, this is something that, will require some digital skill sets on here. So just to give you an idea of some of those job opportunities that are there. Now, there's also some jobs that have evolved into digital. When we think of a retail assistant, it's more than just, physical. We also have to kind of think about operating a technical base. There could be a computer which is involved, when it comes to pricing up stuff and maybe getting in different things. Using and having a computer-based skill is important. A receptionist is also a role that we've seen here where digital skills are required, again, making bookings and so on. There are probably systems that we need to know and understand when we're undertaking a role like this. So again, this is just a few of those jobs that we have, but let's just try and demystify some of the common myths about digital jobs. Now, most of us might think, you know what, actually, because I don't have the qualifications, I don't have that university degree, then I'm kind of out of the race. And that is not true at all. This is definitely something where, again, those skill sets can be learned. They don't necessarily need to have a university degree, but being able to maybe navigate the web and find the resources of where we can learn and find out a lot more about how to kind of upskill ourselves. This is also something which we need to kind of just clear our minds of. We can have the opportunities to go for these digital jobs. It's just knowing exactly where to find them and what requirements are needed. So again, we're going to kind of take a little look at that. Also, everyone, it doesn't matter, pretty much is welcome into this world. Again, if you have the skill set, if you know exactly what you're doing and you're good and you understand the role really well, what is the issue? I pretty much will have many, many people that will say, well, it's all to do with age and I'm not able to do this because I don't have any of these skill sets. I think the first thing really is if you have a phone, this is one of the biggest tools that you have. So again, this is quite simple, but you'll find that just having that mindset that you have access to resources on your phone or on your computers is also one of the big things. And also, just to go back to the world of digital, everything in terms of digital is evolving, it's changing. If we look at digital, let's say 10 years ago, it was completely different to the way we look at it now. And as we're going into the future, we have other possibilities like artificial intelligence and just other things which are really going to start to come into the workplace and help us out and allow us to really, really just have those roles working well for us. So these are just some of the things. Now, what I want to do here is just go through some of the things that companies would be looking for on this. So again, we've just broken this up into just these different sections here. So knowledge, okay, having that skill set of just being able to work out and be solution based. So again, if you can be put into a role, you can see exactly what the problem is, being able to solve that problem analytically is one of the biggest things. And again, this will come with experience, as you can see here, being able to kind of know what's coming up, but also just know how to do a particular role, and also perhaps having a particular skill. It could be, again, being skillful in terms of just knowing, people handling, and also various different things that we've got. But experience is a big thing, and it doesn't mean that, again, you can't bring your experience that you've learned before over to some new career opportunities that you're looking for. Now, technical skills is also quite a big thing too. So you might find that for some roles that are required to have, the option to operate particular tools and also operate particular, let's say, software and so on. So again, this is also quite a big thing. And being the ability to have that attitude of positive vibe as well. So again, when we think about the attitude of just being motivated to learn and just taking off that hat of I can't and being yes I can, I'll be able to learn on the job. I'll be able to learn some of these skills that I need to get to in order to get the job that I want. So the attitude must be positive. And again, this really is going to be picked up on here, especially when it comes to again, just trying to connect with the jobs that we're looking for. That positive attitude is really, really important. So, just some of the other things that companies will be looking for. Firstly, critical thinking and problem solving. Many of us, when we're in our roles, we are faced with different problems, and it's just the way that we deal with these. Okay, and not to kind of, be at fear at these, but being able just to know exactly how we can solve this and some of the resources and people that we have around us in order to solve these roles. Also being digital in literacy when it comes to, ensuring that we know literally how to use certain digital technology and knowing the foundations of digital. This is also quite important. Time management, need I say more, but again, just making sure that we are just making those deadlines and being efficient is really important. Again, if we're one of these individuals working within a company, this is crucial to make sure that we can meet the deadlines and so on. And also being able to collaborate. If you're very good with working with people, working on projects with other individuals, this is a key skill that people or companies even are looking for. So again, I will say that really when it comes to this, these are some of the core features that we or companies are looking for on here. So make a note, because I'm pretty sure you'll be able to look back at some of the past experience that you have and being able to apply these. So again, everything that we've done is applicable for the future. All right. And again, it's just keeping that positive attitude, just to mention positive attitude, and just taking that mindset of is yes, I can grow, I can learn, I have the ability to learn and expand and get to that job that I want to get to. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pause for questions right now on here. And again, I'm going to go over to my lovely moderators and team and just kind of see if there is any questions that you guys might have. So yeah, all right. So I've got one here that's come through. So could you differentiate between digital skills and online digital jobs? So yeah, good point, and thank you for that question. So again, just to kind of mention, when it comes to kind of the main skills that you can have, obviously physical skills, being able to kind of operate software and so on in particular roles. Let's say, for instance, the receptionist role that could be there, or a sales assistant role, is knowing how to kind of use software that could be based in that role. But when it comes to online roles that are there, again, this could be more based around kind of coding, marketing, those type of things. Having the ability really to be analytical as well, but knowing how to use those tools. So again, if you're looking at roles potentially that are just based online, some of these could be data analysis, some of these could be creative roles, marketing roles. All of these could be done online, but it's also understanding how the collaborative tools work online and how digital works online as well. So, again, there might be some platforms online that you might have to be used to before going for that role. And I'm pretty sure that all of those kind of job roles or all of those skills that are needed, there are resources online which are free that we can access. We're able to go to YouTube and type in a question, and I guarantee you there is a video which is going to show you how to do things. But again, if we're looking at online opportunities, I think it's really just trying to look at, firstly, what is your skill set? And if your skill set is translatable to be an online role, then have a look at some of those different technical skills or different kind of software or things that you might need in order to grow into that role in a digital sense online. So thank you for that question. I hope that is done, you guys. Okay. All right, let's have a look. All the time I apply for online jobs, it's really hard to submit. So, do you have advice for submitting jobs online? And this is something, thank you guys for these questions. We're going to take a look at this as we go through the sessions. But again, there are different platforms that you can use in terms of just trying to search for jobs online. And actually, the next presentation, which is to follow, is about job searching. Okay, so I would definitely say don't be disheartened. You know, if you have applied for jobs and you haven't heard anything come back, there are different platforms online, there are different services online where you can kind of have your CV online, have all of your attributes, you know, make sure that you're representing yourself the best way. And also, if you're doing any kind of courses, if there are on a, say, online courses, making those available so people can see those too. So again, we're going to go through some of these in our next presentation, which is going to be coming up after this one, where we're just going to have a look at some of those online platforms and the best way that you can represent yourself online. But really, this session is just to give you guys an idea of some of the opportunities when it comes to online, some of those jobs that are available to you, okay, where you could be just working literally online and collaborating online as well. Okay, and I've got another question here. So, can some of these online skills certificates be in your CV? Yes, thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. So, yeah, if you are definitely doing some courses online, the majority of them will have the ability to give you a certification at the end. So, for instance, UX is quite a big thing. User experience is quite a big digital kind of role at the moment that many companies are looking for. And actually, if you go online, companies like Udemy, Skillshare, and so on, their courses will actually give you a certification once you've gone through them. Once you pay for that course and you've gone through it, gone through all of the different modules, you'll have that certification. Put that on your CV. That is going to help promote you. That is showing you that you're actively learning and you're actively willing to go out and just expand your mind in that field. So why not put those certifications on your CV, because it promotes you and helps you out here. So again, I'll mention those different platforms, but Udemy, Skillshare. We've also got LinkedIn Learning. We're going to talk a little bit more about LinkedIn as well as we go through the presentation. But these are just some of the platforms that you guys can access and start to learn these new skills. And by the time you finished it, then why not place that on your CV? This is going to help you, especially if we're looking at LinkedIn, which we will look at further into the presentation. And also kindly clarify on the third point about myths about digital jobs and how it is evolving. Yes, definitely. So I think one of the big things that most people have is you need to have that education and you need to have that certification from university in order to get into these roles. Well, personally, what I think is when it comes to just those mindsets that we have, is that this technology is new. Okay, it's new, and there are quite there are a few people obviously who kind of know how to kind of be in those fields. But when it comes to us trying to have that mindset of going, well, this is a role that I'm really interested in and I want to be able to kind of learn and get to it, really it's not as difficult and not as hard as we make it out to be. The resources are there for us, the videos are there for us, the courses are out there for us. So really, when I'm saying demystify what we're thinking about these roles, is it too far and out of reach for us? And to be honest with you, you could get started literally today by going on some of these platforms that I've mentioned and just starting to understand really what these roles are. But also another thing as well is that these job roles are actually posted online. So we're able to go and see what the requirements are for these jobs. And really what we're saying here is open your mind and be able to literally go onto the internet and search for these different job roles, see what the requirements are, and then see what skill sets you need. You may find that some of these courses that are online will be able to help you. You may find that you might already have some of these different skill sets that are transferable into these digital roles. Okay, so hopefully that has just helped kind of to explain a little bit more. But it's really what we're saying here is the mindset. You know, we want to make sure that we are definitely holding the best kind of attitude when it comes to these brand new roles. It's all available. It's all at our fingertips right now. Okay, so we I think there's any more questions. I want to thank my moderators, Lizzie and Emmanuel, who are here. If there's any more questions that you guys have for us, but thank you. I hope the chat is also going well. Oh, I think there was another question that has come up on here. So, do you have advice on submitting jobs online? I would say yes, I do. Please stay tuned for the next presentation, which is coming up, which is all going to be about jobs searching online. So again, we're going to explore the different methods of how you can promote yourself digitally online and use some of the platforms. We're going to recommend some platforms to you guys and the best way that you can present yourself online as well. So again, please stay tuned because we are going to go through that. We just literally, right now, I want to be able to set the mindset that everything is possible. If you are trying to go for a particular job, you definitely know that this is going to be something that you can learn a lot more about online through some of the resources that are available to us. All right. Well, I think in terms of questions, perhaps we might be done with some questions, but if not, I will be pausing again and going through these. But thank you for your questions. I hope the chat is working well and you guys are fine out there. And I hope you're enjoying this presentation. Don't forget, our moderators are on the side. Thank you, Lizzie and Emmanuel, doing a good job. Kenya and Nigeria are working together in this chat, which is really cool. So let's push on to just pretty much the end half of this presentation. And again, just to recap on some of the things. So what I wanted to do really is just go through again, just some of the different points that I've mentioned on here. So again, just to pick up again, what companies are looking for, the knowledge, experience, tools, and attitude in order to make sure that we have that yes, we can attitude to stuff. Also making sure that when we look at some of the other job possibilities that are out there, as mentioned, here are some, again, that we could potentially be looking at in a digital field. Now, majority of these that you can see here are always they are roles which involve digital skill sets and could involve working potentially online as well. So this is just to give you an idea of some of the opportunities. Really think about some of the roles that you have undertaken, and I'm pretty sure they are transferable to a digital form, which we are going to be obviously talking about and looking at in the next half of our presentations. Also, just to mention as well, the impact on the internet. You know, I really just want to get it across that not only is the internet for, you know, our entertainment and consumption, but also it's for us to learn and to grow and expand. It's also for us to communicate and represent ourselves the best way for careers or opportunities that are on here. So again, really what I'm trying to say is that the opportunities in the digital world are here. And it's up to us now to kind of use some of the tools that are at our hands right now, enable for us to kind of grow and expand and move into this world of digital and not to be afraid of it. You know, again, everything that we kind of want to look for, we can go on to search and we can find these things. So again, it's really just having that mindset. But really, what I want to do is just make sure that you guys keep that attitude positive and make sure that, again, if we're faced with, not knowing what to do in terms of that digital landscape, there is definitely opportunities and references there that are going to help us out for stuff. So again, it's great having you guys here. I want to kind of go and have a little bit more questions before we move into our next presentation on here. So again, if anyone has any questions, as mentioned, we are going to be looking at some of the online platforms where you can promote yourself online. But again, just getting one or two questions that are coming through. So I have a question. How efficient is working online and how convenient is it? So I guess when you're working online, the collaboration part for me is the most convenient. We can be in different places all around the world. But again, you'll find that actually just being able to collaborate with different people is a big, big, big thing. And this, again, is something that is a convenience to me. Like I can be working with someone who's in another part of the world. That's major convenience for me for that. Also, the fact that things are instant when it comes to online. We literally need to be thinking about, if I need to communicate with someone, I can have that instant communication. I can have their email. I can, just pretty much have communication in order to make that job better for me, and also just to collaborate and work as a team with other people. So again, digital is, or being online is a big thing for my kind of experience of working online. It's definitely helped me to collaborate with a lot more people. Some people that I may not have known, to be honest with you. And we have collaborated and created some good work, and also worked on some fantastic projects. Right. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Can someone still? Yeah. So I'm not sure. I think if someone wants to register, I believe they will need to go through the right channels to get it on there. But any questions? Any more questions to do with what we spoke about? So really, the internet and looking at some of those digital jobs in a different way. And most jobs, to be fair, we can get those training and resources for. So if there are no more questions, I hope you guys are okay in the chat there. And I'm seeing one or two questions that are coming through from you guys that are here, but I hope you are enjoying this presentation about trying to kind of look for jobs. And we've got so much more which is coming up for you guys. So the next presentations, we're going to be looking at ways that you can promote yourself online. So using the different platforms that are available to you, ways that you can also kind of look at the experience that you've had and then bringing that to some of the new jobs that you might be looking for, and really the best way to promote yourself. So again, this is coming up for the next presentation, so guys, stay tuned. I can see that the chat is really getting very busy. It's good to have you guys here. And again, if there are any questions that you guys might have for me, please let me know. Oh, I've got another question which has come through. Thank you. So I have so many certifications of completion from the learning platform suggested earlier. Are these certifications worthy to be in your CV? Yes, they are. Everything that you do in terms of learning, because you're doing it online, doesn't make it any difference. You're learning. So again, I would definitely say that this is definitely relevant. So please place those certifications on your CV. Do not discard them. They are very important. We need to have that because that represents you, your journey of learning and getting to that job that you want. Okay. So what are the necessary skills in order to be able to succeed? Positive attitude, big one. The willingness to learn, the willingness to just be adaptable to change, I think is a big thing. When we have that mindset, oh, I can't do it. I don't have the experience. I'm not able to do this. That's the wrong mindset to have. That can do attitude is definitely something that employers are going to be looking for. But also, if you know what type of job role that you want to go to, being able to either find resources, courses, anything like that that is going to help you grow and actively show that you're very interested in this role and you're doing what you can to educate yourself and to get to that digital skills role. I think employers are going to want that. They want to definitely see that you're definitely doing that. Other things as well is that you might find that experience, like there might be some projects that you can get involved in online, which are going to definitely kind of expand your portfolio, expand your knowledge. Those are also quite good as well. So again, there are different kind of projects that you could get involved in. There are, obviously there might be some volunteering projects that you could be interested in, which is in your field, okay? And being able to kind of put that onto your CV and have it promote you the best way. So thinking about what role you want, thinking about how you can utilize the resources around you. If you have certifications and they are relatable to the job that you're trying to go for, put that on your CV. That is going to put you in the best position, definitely. Okay, the questions are great. I want to definitely thank the teams that are working in the background. Manuel, Lisa, and Lizzie, thank you guys for just moderating the chat. I can see there's loads of messaging which is going on. Good to have you guys here. I hope you're enjoying it. So this is the first session really that we've done. And, again, this is just, again, looking at the different ways that we can use the internet in the best way to try and leverage ourselves. Look at the digital skill sets and the new digital jobs which are out there as well for us. So let's explore next the ways that we can promote ourselves online and also how we can start to search for these jobs online. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break right now. So don't go away. Stay here, please. Don't go anywhere. Because next we're going to take a look at is job searching online. So I'm going to be recommending different ways that you can be searching for jobs online and the best ways that you can just use these platforms on here. So please stay tuned for that. The first presentation is done. Thank you for your questions. And we definitely want to keep it as interactive as possible. I want to thank the moderators as well for doing a fantastic job out there. Again, thank you for your questions as well. So we're going to see you guys real soon. And again, the next presentation is going to begin at 1 o'clock. So again, if you guys are available, which you should be, hopefully you're not going anywhere, we would like you guys to stay for the next presentation, which is going to be job searching online, and that's going to be at 1 o'clock. All right, well, we'll see you guys soon, and I look forward to having you guys in the next session. Keep those questions coming, and if you have anything in the chat, keep that going as well, because our moderators are also going to stay on the chat. So again, this is a Grow with Google program. It's great to have you guys here, and I will see you guys at 1 o'clock. Okay, welcome. We are back again. My name's Ashton. I'm one of the Google trainers. So I'll get my jumper right. One of the Google trainers here, and it's good to have you guys. Africa, welcome. This is a Grow with Google program, and we're going to be looking at just the various ways that you can promote yourself online and just further your career online using some of these different points that we bring up in this presentation. So what I wanted to do firstly is just welcome everyone. If you've already been part of this session, again, you'll find that it's quite easy, literally just to go to the chat and just have a message with our moderators. I really want to say hello to our moderators again. Thank you, Lizzie and Emmanuel. Lizzie in Kenya and Emmanuel in Nigeria. Good to have you guys here. Lisa's also in the moderation chat as well. So again, guys, please, if there are any questions, make sure you place those into the chat on the side. We want to hear from you. Now, throughout this presentation, I'm going to have a break. And when I have that break, you guys, I'm going to answer those questions. So if there's something that the moderators can't answer, please just wait. We're going to get to you and we're going to try and answer those questions for you. Okay. So welcome. We done our first session, which was really just looking at online and the different ways that we can use the internet to really just leverage kind of again just different ways that we can find jobs, different ways that we can learn different things that are online in terms of different courses and so on. So again, this is something that we could definitely just use the internet for. So this is the first half, but the second half, which is now about job searching online, we're going to take a look at some great platforms for you guys. Again, if there are any questions that you have, please just put that in the moderator chat. Again, we've got the guys who are waiting here, and let's make it quite interactive, because at this point there is going to be some interaction for this. So I firstly want to welcome you guys to the session. All the guys that are joining us now, welcome. And yeah, let's get started with job searching online. So this really is taking a look at all of the opportunities when it comes to job searching online. So again, this is quite good. We are going to go through some of the different platforms, but as we move on, these are our modules that we're going to go through on here just to show you guys real quickly. So again, firstly, using search engines to find jobs. Now this is quite good because there is different opportunities that we can literally just use Google search, or maybe Yahoo, or maybe Bing even, to try and find different jobs online. Also structuring your job search. So they could use different filters, different platforms for specific jobs that you're trying to go for. And when we look at a job post, it's really just trying to break it down and understand what the employer is looking for. So we have one or two examples that I would like to show you guys and just find out what you think about it. And it will just help just to understand a little bit more about the best ways we can get our skills to just connect with what the employers are looking for. So welcome, let's get started. Again, if you have any questions, place it in the chat. We've got our guys which are sitting on the side. So again, the moderators, if there are any questions, they're going to try and help you. But if not, then when we have a break, I'll be happy to answer those questions for you guys. Okay, so firstly, I think this is our big question. What are the frustrations around looking for work? And again, please just put your responses in the chat on the side. So we'll have the moderators again in there. So the question is, what are your frustrations around looking for work? Let us know now, and let's try and just see what some of those are. But I'm gonna just look at what you guys are saying, as this is an interactive session. So I'd be interested to kind of know what you guys think. So what are your frustrations around work that you guys might have? Now, again, you can place your responses in the chat. We have our moderators in there too, so they'll be happy to kind of give that often so I can see it. I can see that in the chat right now. But again, yeah, please let us know. So finding a job that fills my skill set. Thank you. Yep, that's definitely. Trust is another one that has been placed on here too. So again, just keep those coming. because yes, it's a question I think that most of us might have when it comes to just looking for a job. And let's try and kind of explore how the internet can help us, how some of these services on here can really try to help us when it comes to looking for work, especially in the digital sector as well, and the best ways that we can kind of get that to work. So, just to give you some stats first, 20% of the world's workforce change job each year. Over half use the internet to look for employment, and that's true. Uh, Even from my experience, when I've looked for roles, different jobs, I have gone on the internet. I've either gone to the company's website and I've looked for seeing if there are any positions which are available there. But I've also gone onto different platforms like LinkedIn and seen various different job positions. And some of these platforms, they already know the skill sets. If you've created your account and you've got your like details on there, you'll notice that they will start to send you emails which are related to the skill set or the job field that you're in. So again, the internet plays a very big part in trying to just sift through all the different jobs and find the right one which is for you. So this again is quite important stat that we have here. So again, things are changing quite a lot, and because we have the option to kind of use some of these platforms, you can see here that most people, 60% even, are using some of those job websites and career websites just to kind of find the opportunities that are available. So again, you can use these different platforms. It will kind of look around your area and try to find relevant jobs that match your skill set. Or what some people might do as well is they might be looking for other opportunities, other career paths, and be looking for those jobs that potentially they need to know kind of like what is the experience, what skill sets do I need, and you'll find that in the requirements it will let you know what that is. So again, that could be something that you could grow to, could be something where you could start to learn and develop those skills in order to get closer to that career. So let's just kind of take a look at some of these job search engines that we have on here. So, firstly, I'm not sure if you guys know, but yeah, there is the Google app. We're also going to look at Google Go as well, Chrome, which is our web browser. Very simple, as you guys can see, literally just to go to search and explore some of the job listings that are kind of relevant to your field. But not only can you see those job different fields that you've got there, or the job postings, but you'll be able to kind of tap and find out a little bit more about the requirements that are needed for this and really see what skill sets are required for these particular jobs. Now, what's great about this as well is that we can use the filters to really get rid of those jobs and stop wasting our time for things that we don't need. So, filtering is quite a big thing, not only just through search, but some of these job platforms that are online enable us to just filter and get to the particular job for us. As mentioned before, some of these job platforms will recommend jobs to us based on our skill sets that we've already given to the actual platform itself. And these jobs, obviously, they could be saved as well. So just as you can see here, saving these jobs, whether you're using maybe search, there is an opportunity to save a job within that. Or perhaps if you're using some of the platforms that we're going to be mentioning, there is an opportunity to also save those and just maybe come back to them perhaps if you just need to have a think about how you're going to approach going for this job. So just to show you some of the job platforms which are around on here. So we'll just go through one or two of them. So Jobberman is again really quite good, extensive, because you'll be able literally to kind of go on this. You'll find that most recruiters and employers are going to be on there. It's a good place also to get career advice as well. So let us know in the chat on the side if you guys are using this particular platform, Jobberman, which is again pretty cool. Another one which is next to that is for our guys in Ghana. Welcome. You'll see that there is that platform for jobs in Ghana, which is around. It's one of the leading recruitment websites in Ghana, matching job seekers to their jobs. And again, this could be a great place for us to have our presence, have our kind of profile and so on these platforms in order for that match to happen. One of my favorite ones and it's an international big platform. Now we're going to talk more about this in the next presentation, how you can kind of set that up. But LinkedIn is a very big job site, and it's kind of like I don't know, Facebook for jobs. So if you use Facebook, LinkedIn is kind of like that job professional kind of version of Facebook. You can easily add your friends, colleagues that you've worked with. They can be linked to you to be part of your professional kind of group of people which are online. Obviously, you can have your profile online as well, so you can have all of the experience and jobs that you've been through. But what I really like about LinkedIn is that you have access to communicate or contact some of the different people that work in different sectors that you might be interested in. So there might be a particular company that you're interested in. And what's great is it will break down all of the different employers that are working inside that company and try to find that person that you're trying to connect with. It could be a department you're kind of trying to get to. And I'm pretty sure if you go on LinkedIn, you can find the company, you can find the person, and you can contact them. Okay, so LinkedIn, very big thing. We're going to talk about that later on as we move through the presentation. Okay, Fuzu is the next one as well on here, and this is more for Kenya. But again, it's an East African career platform, so it's great because it also has learning opportunities on there too. So you'll find that there are one or two courses and learning opportunities on this website too. So again, anyone who's looking to further their knowledge in digital, there is going to be some options on this for you on here too. Also, this is a great way to connect with other employers as well. And again, this is kind of the main one that you'll find in East Africa. They've also got CareerJet as well, which is a Nigerian-based kind of job platform. Again, it's quite big, quite extensive. You can, again, search and filter for jobs using this. Again, it's very good, quite an extensive kind of listings of jobs, but you'll be able to also set up your account, use the filter, make sure that you have all of your kind of experience on that platform, and then start to connect with employers. So again, some of these platforms are really good. And lastly, Indeed as well. Indeed is a really big one. I've used it myself, and you'll probably find that when you do a search on Google, that sometimes Indeed might pop up for relevant jobs. So Indeed is great. Again, you can have a profile, set up your account. You'll also be able to filter those jobs that you're looking for. But it's great, as it says, there are 250 million unique visitors every month. So there's quite a big group that are on that platform. So again, these are just some of those different platforms to take a look at. Now, most of these, you can do a Google search, you can bring up these platforms, and you'll be able to create and start to, have your account, start to look for some jobs, make sure you're using the filters so you're not wasting too much time, and try to see some of those requirements that those job positions are needing on here. So again, this is great for researching, but also trying to promote yourself using these different platforms that are here too. So just to go through some of these job seeker platforms and accounts, and just to kind of have those. So I think the first thing really is, if you have a CV, and this CV could be, let's say, either on Word or kind of like digital form, you would be able to kind of have that first and try to translate that into the different platforms that you're using. So firstly, it's trying to understand what platform is ideal for the job that you're trying to go for, where they're going to have the different jobs that you're kind of interested in and trying to get to, which platform is going to have that. So again, it's trying to find what platform is the best and ideal to find. Now, again, what you want to do is sign up and to create an account. You can pretty much do this on your mobile, okay? So you might find that, again, we'll kind of touch on a few of this as well, and kind of how you can have your CV on your phone and various things, which we'll mention. But this is a way of just literally accessing these platforms, either doing it on a desktop, but most of these will have a mobile version of their site or a mobile app that you can use. So again, just creating an account, and if you have an existing CV, translating that over to these digital platforms that we have on here. So again, I hope you guys have just made the list. I'm just going to quickly go back and make a list of some of these different job platforms, because again, you might find just in the downtime, you're able to go and have a look at these and find out which one is going to be suitable for you. So again, Jobberman, jobs in Ghana, LinkedIn, Fuzu, CareerJet, Indeed. These are just some of the big platforms that are available to you guys. And now they do one or two have premium options, but the majority of this is free. So again, please have a look at creating some of these accounts. If you have yourself a mobile phone, yes, you can. Yes, you can go into the App Store or go into the web browser and be able to just bring up some of these different sites and set up your profile and have a look at some of the jobs that are available to you in your area. So just to go through this again, it's about signing up, also popping in your personal information, the experience again as mentioned. When we're looking at taking your CV and placing that on here, it's going to have different fields which you can then start to just translate and copy and paste and place this into these different platforms in order to have your experience showing up. And again, once you've gone through and you started to look for those jobs, it's very easy for you to just click on apply. Okay, so having this set up and having the ability literally to again have your profile, your experience online, once that's set up, it's then easy to just literally go through, find the jobs that you want, and then hit apply, and it will send your details over. Now again, we want to make sure obviously that if there are any cover letters, which we're going to talk about soon, that they are different for each type of job, because it will show that we've looked at the different skill sets that they're looking for within the role, and then we can apply that and place that into the actual cover letter itself. So just to show you, again, you can be notified, I mentioned this before, but if you do sign up to these platforms, it will scan and look at the experience and maybe look at the different jobs that you might be interested in, and you can get alerts. I get this sometimes, from LinkedIn. I will be getting different kind of responses, notifications on different jobs that are more in my field. So it's really important to set up your profile, set up your account, make sure you put everything in there, all of your experience. Don't be afraid to put those certifications on there as well, guys. Like I have to stress this and say it again. Don't be afraid to put those on there. So again, you might find that just by placing your certifications on there, that is going to help you. It's going to show that you are actively trying to learn and get to that job that you're trying to look for on here. And again, there may be also on these different sites the opportunity to see what's going on in that field. So there are postings that you might find that are kind of interest to you. Could be like articles or so on. And it's great to get involved in that conversation as well, because you never know if you are in contact, let's say, with a post that someone has posted on there. Maybe it could be the company that you're interested in, and you can actually put your responses in there. That could be something where someone comes along and goes, okay, who is this person? Let me take a look at their profile. And you've got all of those details there. And you're going to apply for the job. Who are you? It's about making yourself known and being present on these platforms, because I guarantee you're definitely going to find some opportunities using these platforms on here. I can't stress it anymore. So let's try and do an activity right now, okay? So, right, guys, where's your phone? Get your phone, please. Have your phone with you. If you have your phone, if you're obviously watching the presentation on your phone, it's going to be a little bit tricky. But what I want you guys to do is go into search. Okay, I want you to go into search, and I want you to go to Google search. Okay, so if you have yourself, let's say, your phone, you can go into the web browser, and you'll be able to literally go and take a look. Sorry, I apologize. My Google popped up as I said that. But yeah, go into your web browser, Chrome, go into Google, and what I'd like you guys to do is type into the search jobs near me. Okay, I'll give you a little while just to think about it and to get it going. So again, go into Google and type in jobs near me. Okay, And once you've done that, okay, I want you guys to just take a look and see what jobs are in there. Now, you'll also find as well that obviously if you just put jobs near me, it's going to come up with all different things. But what you can also do in that search is put in a keyword, which is the role that you'd like to be going towards, or a job that you're interested in. So it could be jobs near me, marketing, jobs near me, accounting, jobs near me, sales executive even. Those are just those keywords that are going to help filter and try and find those jobs which potentially are close to you. So again, I would just have a look. So as mentioned, go into your web browser, go to Google, try doing a search right now, type in jobs near me, and after that put in the relevant fields where you'd like to. And it will be good to see what actually comes up on here. So please just have a look, and it would be good for the moderators, again, just let us know, put it in the chat, and let us know how successful are you guys successful in finding some of these jobs, what actually comes up. So again, go into google.com, put in jobs near me. Okay, let's see what you guys come up with. Okay, now again, this is great because it's showing you how you could be using the internet to utilize and find the jobs that are close to you. And that's, again, just by using the internet in order to find this is very, very simple. We have these devices with us, and it could be something that we can use as a tool to help us find the potential job that we're looking for. Okay, so again, have a look and see what you guys come up with. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have done this before, and if you have, it'd be interesting to know what has actually come out of it, from you guys doing this. So again, jobs near me, and once you find that job, or one or two, there is an option to save that posting. Yeah, so again, if you find a job which is quite interesting, there will be an option near you, literally just to tap and save that job's posting, and that's something that you can come back to later. So this is actively you trying to, again, you could be doing this occasionally, going onto google.com, going to search and saving some of those jobs that really, again, you'd like to apply for. So why not try this out as an option on here? Okay, so again, what's also good as well is that you can get alerts as well, okay, just through going through this. So when you do save this job posting, there can be alerts that pop up which are kind of set in the relevance of that field that you're trying to get into. So there is an option here to have that saved. So please have a go. If it's something that you can't do now, please write down this and try it out for yourself and see what happens. But I guarantee you there's definitely going to be some jobs of interests that will come to you. So please take a look at this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just take a look at one of the job platforms, which is CareerJet. Now, as mentioned, CareerJet based in Nigeria, but there are obviously other kind of options. Now, you'll find with CareerJet, anyone who has created an account. Now, what we're showing you here is you could use your phone, you can download the application, or you can literally just go to the website. And if you do go to the website, and sign up and have your account set up first, you'll see some of the options that we have here. Search. First thing, once you've created your account, easy just to search for a particular role. So again, you can either go to these specific platforms and also use these for searching for jobs. What's great is that they'll give you a great filter for you to actually go ahead and filter down some of those jobs that you're interested in. And then you can take a look at the role itself, the requirements, what is needed, and try and apply for that too. So using not only just Google, but go ahead and use CareerJet as well as one of those different platforms to get you going. Now, I also want to make it known, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but there might be some jobs that are not legitimate online, okay? And some of these are scams. There are things that we need to be aware of and make sure that we are not giving our personal details over to a job which doesn't exist and potentially could be harvesting our data. So if you've ever experienced something like this, here are some tips and tricks really just to make sure that it is credible when it comes to looking at these jobs online. Now, firstly, it is to check the credibility of the company. The company that has put that job role on there, do they have a website? And if they do, how legitimate is that site? Is there activity on that website to make sure that, again, this is not a fake job or fake thing, which is actually going to lead us to, give our data and waste our time trying to go ahead and get one of these jobs that are posted on these sites. Now, what you can also do as well is you can verify the location of these companies using Google Maps. And you'll normally find that if they are a registered company, then there is going to be reviews set on that company as well. So again, this is also something to take a look at, and just to make sure that the company is legitimate and the job is legitimate for a start, because there has been one or two stories where people have gone very, very far. They've traveled far and they've turned up and it's non-existent. Either the company doesn't exist or the job is non-existent. Okay, and it's been a waste of money and a waste of time. So again, making sure that whoever has actually posted the job, they have their name there, so you can potentially see, that they are an employee of the company, and ensure that it's not a fake listing. Again, if it is, let's say, a person's name which is next to that, that is great, because that also means that if you have any questions, that you can email them, you can contact them to find out a little bit more about the role and maybe how successful you have been with your application. These are also things to be looking out for. And also there are job forums as well. If you are going onto the different platforms, the job platforms as mentioned, you will find that there are probably different forums, different groups which are related to your field, and maybe there could be some postings again of one or two jobs which are fake for you guys to look out for. So again, please check to make a note of these, and just to run through them again, check the presence of that company. Ensure that they have an online presence, their website is legitimate and their posting is legitimate. Make sure you check Google Maps and see that they are real, okay, and that they are not fake and potentially could be taking you to a location which is non-existent. So this is really, really, really important, guys. Please do take a look at authenticating these jobs which are online and that you apply for. Actually, let us know, moderators, hey, let us know if you've ever experienced anything like that, if you've ever had a fake kind of job posting that you've gone to, and what has that been like for you? How, again, obviously soul destroying having something like that happen to you, but again, it's something that we need to create that awareness to let people know that these postings are around and they are fake. So again, quite good. Thanks for that one, which is cool. Right. Okay. So filter and identifying a job opportunity. So if you're using Google, okay, you can see obviously there are options for you to filter. So we're using the search. We're putting in those keywords for the type of role that we're looking for to narrow down the search so we can get to where we need to in terms of finding the job. But also as well, I think not only just using Google, but if you're using LinkedIn or anything like that, it is to use that search and use the filters at the best way to try and find the job that you want. So again, once you kind of find the opportunity, the job itself is going to have a description. And inside that description is just taking a really good look and looking at the skill set, trying to marry it up, trying to connect it with the experience that you already have. Okay, and if there is a lack of experience, what is the ways that you can go ahead and expand and learn? That could be a thing where, again, you could go to some online courses and just try to get more certification based on that. So again, this is quite a big thing. And you can save these jobs. So if you're not ready to apply for these jobs just as soon as possible, or you should do, but if you can't, then you can save these jobs postings, okay, and come back to them. But again, this is really good to be using the filters on here. So what I'd like to do now is kind of just go into the questions that you guys might have, because I can pretty much imagine that there are different uh, different questions that you guys might have. So um, right, so let's see what you guys have here. So could you differentiate between? Yep, no, I think we've got some of these already. Let me just make sure that we have some of the questions. So again, just to mention, guys, if you have any questions, please just take a look at the moderators, and they will be able to ensure that we are doing the right thing. So if you have any questions, please place that in here. I'll be happy to kind of answer those. Do bear with me as I am literally trying to get to your questions now. So yep, you guys will be able to kind of see some of that on here. So please bear with me as I just quickly navigate to the questions on here. So let's see what you guys might have on this. Okay, and yeah, let's see. So again, if you have any questions, guys, just place that into the chat. The moderators would be able to get that for you. So I do apologize as we are just trying to get those questions in. So please have those ready for us on here. Right, let's see what we've got as we go through. So let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Right, one moment on here. So again, for these questions, what I will do is I will just take a look at the chat which is on here, as we just need to just gain some of these on this. So again, if you do have any questions, just place them in the chat here. I think some of you have been really talking about one or two of the different sites that you're using, and also the frustrations as well when it comes to some of the job listings that are on here. So again, you will find, just to give us just a moment just to get to your questions, if I can't answer them at this point, you can literally find that I'll pick up these questions towards the end of the presentation. So I'm just talking with my team right now. Hopefully they are taking care of you guys in the moderation chat. So yeah, but keep those questions coming in. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you are just picking up some different tips to help you guys on here. So okay, cool. Right, all right, excellent. I'm getting some questions which are coming through. Thank you. Whew. Right, so yes, hashtag stay at home. Thank you for that one. Right, so working at home will be addressed. Okay, what sites are you recommending? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come back to these questions. Please keep them coming in. I'm going to try and get to the questions just afterwards. So we will answer the questions just in a moment. But yes, we will come back to these on here. And please keep them coming. In fact, I might be able to, oh, here we go. I might be able to answer one or two of these questions now. So are these jobs going to be online jobs, or if requires a physical presence? They are both. So if you are going onto these different platforms, they're not necessarily for online jobs. They are for different jobs. They could be online jobs, but some of them are going to be jobs which are physical jobs as well. So please don't let that discourage you from using these online platforms. Thank you, Samuel, for that question. All right, is there a platform that gives you an opportunity to learn with a target? So once you hit the target, you can be recommended for jobs by such platforms. I would definitely say very, very good question. Thank you for that one. I would say LinkedIn is very good for that. So LinkedIn has the learning platform called LinkedIn Learning. You have to pay for it, but it does have a trial. And actually, what the good thing is once you've done the courses, the certification then can go onto your profile, and that's going to be recognizable to some of the employers that you're trying to get jobs from. So again, that is something that I could recommend. LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning is also a very good kind of platform. Now, I mentioned before, Udemy is a good platform as well. Skillshare is another good platform. And you'll find some of these courses, check out first, but they are going to give you the opportunity to, again, get the certification, and you can place this on your online platform. Thank you so much for that question. That is very cool. Okay, so another question that we've here. So once applied for a fake job in 2018, ended up being conned 800 for interview. Thanks. Yes. So again, guys, really, just to be aware. Thank you for sharing that. Just to be aware that there are some fake job postings out there. Okay, please be aware. As mentioned, I've mentioned just to, again, have a look at that company, check that the business is legitimate, make sure that that posting is real. Again, if they don't have the person's name from the business there, I would be kind of wary of going and applying for that. So thank you for sharing that, please. Okay, please, I need more light on how filters work. Thank you. Yes, so if you, for instance, are going into LinkedIn and you're looking for a particular job in LinkedIn, you find that the filters, they're obviously going to ask you for the job sector, okay, that you want to be placed in, but then also it could kind of filter down to the role as well. Are you looking for a part-time role or full-time role? It also could be looking for, again, if you are under a particular skill set that you're really strong on, you can put that into the filter, and it's then going to try and search for relevant jobs for you too. So use these filters. They are going to help you out quite a lot. Also, you'll find that if you do go onto LinkedIn, there you can actually go to the company. So if you have a company in mind that you want to work for, you can actually follow that company, and you'll find that will give you the option to be notified when there are jobs available in that company as well. So again, thank you for that question. Now, I'm conscious of time, but we keep going. Love the questions. They're coming in nicely, so thanks, guys. How can I identify what set of skills to concentrate on? There seems to be so many learning opportunities, and quite frankly, I'm confused and don't understand and don't want to end up being a jack of all trades and a master of none. Right. Thank you. Very, very good question. Thank you. I would say first, it's where your passion lies. Where your passion lies. If you know that let's say you've had great experience in one particular field, and maybe you can kind of add more skill sets on top of that field to get to the job that you want to get to. It's really just finding out exactly what you're good at. And again, if you know that a role is what you want to get to, taking a look at some of the requirements is a big thing that the employer is looking for. So if you're taking a look at the requirements and then seeing if you can match that up, but if you can't, then maybe trying to see if there's further learning to understand. So for instance, you could be really interested in marketing. There is different marketing courses. In fact, the Grow with Google team actually has a marketing course which is free for you guys to learn. So again, I would definitely say that this is quite a good one. So please uh, just kind of streamline, find out exactly what your passion is, look at the experience, things that you've really enjoyed, and then try to look for those roles that are connected to the experience that you want. And then after that, I mean, it's really just going to take a look at the job postings and seeing exactly the requirements, and if you find that, okay, hold on, I don't have a requirement for this, doesn't stop there. Be able to go and find out how you can grow and learn and expand so you can get to that position where you are you have a certification or you have experience. Perhaps it could be volunteering experience that you need, and again, volunteering is also a good way of gaining experience. That's what employers want to see, that you do have that hands-on experience. So hopefully I've been able to answer some of your questions. I do apologize as we literally just trying to get to your questions there, but keep them coming. And if you are kind of interacting with us online, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. Thank you to the moderators, Lisa, and Lizzie, and Emmanuel. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Yeah, right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going with our different options when it comes to jobs on here. So we've done an activity looking at some of those platforms. Again, keep them in mind. And again, if you have any more questions, please put them into the chat. Our moderators are going to pass them on to me, so I will be able to answer them when we have another pause. Okay, right. So here is something where this is another task that I'd like you guys to do. Now, I'm not sure, you guys should be able to kind of see here. This is a job description. Okay, now within this job description, what we are pretty much trying to look for is identifying the desired traits, okay, and requirements that are needed. So what I'd like you guys to do is just have a quick scan, have a quick look at the responsibilities. So you can see the job that we have here as an example is a sales executive at the Workplace Center Limited. Okay, now you can see the location, which is in Lagos. We can also see the summary as well. But what are the responsibilities? So, firstly, what I want you guys to do is just identify the traits and identify the requirements. Have a look at the responsibilities on the right hand side and just make a note, okay? Because again, this is just us trying to scan and take a look at the description here and make sure that we totally understand what the employer is looking for. So I'm going to give you guys some time. Don't forget, use the moderators. They are here. So just kind of put it in there if there are any questions. But yeah, please take a moment just to take a look at this. And I'll give you just a few more moments just to see what you guys think they might be. So again, what we're looking for is within this job posting, we're looking to identify the desired traits that they're looking for and the necessary requirements that they're looking for. So you can see we've got quite a few here that are showing up. So again, just for you to have a quick look at that, okay, on this. So quite interesting. There's a lot of analyzing on here. So hopefully you guys have seen it, okay, and you've taken a little bit of time, even if you identify one or two of these traits, because what I want to do now is I want to reveal these to you, okay. So you can see here just in the job summary, you can see marketing the various loan products of the company, and as you can see, that's a skill. You need to have that marketing skill. That's what they're looking for this particular here. Being able to identify new prospects, that is another skill. So again, if that's relatable to something that you've done previously, then again, go for it. But be ready to talk more about it if you get to that job interview stage. Now, if we're looking at the strengths as well, which have been highlighted in yellow, you can see here let's see what we've got in terms of obtain and compile copies of loan applicants. So this could effectively be using a database system. So again, if you had that experience previously, try to relate that to the responsibilities that we've got here. Assist in preparation of proposals and presentations. So again, this is something that could be relatable. But you can see just by looking at the responsibilities here and just highlighting the skills and the strengths and going through that and just going, okay, well, I've had previous roles or I have done something that has allowed me to gain or have some of this experience, which I can then relate back to this position. And it's good to have this because, again, I'm pretty sure that most of us here, we could probably put one of our strengths that connect in this. So again, this is quite interesting. We were just breaking this down for a sales executive role at the Workplace Center. And this is just an example. Now, again, we could go on to, let's say, one of these platforms and we find this job role, and then we would be able to just click apply now if we had our CV ready and we had our profile ready. So it's easy as that, just to hit that button. So again, very cool. And hopefully you guys got this and you could just relate this back to maybe some job postings that you've been looking at. Again, this is quite interesting. And just to bring it back, I've got like a profile here, okay? And you can see 25-year-old Lagos sales associate. And the qualifications, as you can see, was HND marketing, 2 years of sales experience. The skills, fluent in Swahili and English, administrative skills as well, that is on here, and also Microsoft Office. Now, again, I mentioned through some of those, it would require you to be inputting data, delivering presentations. So the Microsoft Office experience, it would definitely be needed for this. The strengths, as we can see here for this particular person, would be communication skills, definitely, because as you've seen through some of those different requirements, you would be needing to reach out and connect with potential new customers. Negotiation and relationship management. So again, you can see this is just some of the skills and strengths, and we saw some of these in the responsibility that we read here. So again, it's being able to look at the responsibility that they are after and try and relate that to the skill sets that you might have. Again, if you don't have one or two of these skill sets, how can you get yourself to learn and gain more experience in that? Where is the opportunities there? And again, the internet is the big place where you can find opportunities, you can connect with people, or perhaps you can just find a course which is going to help you grow and learn more about that role. So 52% of global internet traffic comes from mobile searches. Okay. And again, just to kind of make this known that again, the majority of things that we're doing is pretty much mobile now. So these websites, these apps, they are really optimized for the mobile platforms. So we have this device in our hand. Let's use it. Let's use it as a resource and a way to connect and try to get to the job that we need. So again, this statistic is quite big, and I think employers and these job platforms, they know that the majority of people are accessing this on their mobile phones. So again, this is just a point to make. Now, I want to introduce you guys to Google Go. Okay. Now, Google Go is a free app that you can download from your app store if you're using Android. Now, it's great because it is very quick access to some of the cool features that Google has. So you can download this for free. Now, the first biggest thing that I want to mention is data optimization. So you might find that, again, if you have a limit in your data usage on your mobile, what you would be able to do is use this app, and it cuts that data down and saves you 40% of the data that potentially you could be using just to browse the web. So this is quite good for saving that data, mobile data that you might have. It's quite easy to switch between languages and some of the services. Let's go through them. Some of the services that are here. So again, it's a one app that you can go into. You can access Google search, but some of the other features that we have on here. First is images and GIFs. So potentially if you need an image, or you basically looking for GIFs, which are kind of graphics that move, there is a whole listing of those. If you find an article and you want it to be read out loud to you, or you find a website, or maybe you find that job and you just want to be able to make sure that you understand it properly, Google Go can read out loud the text or the description that you might have within it. So that is a good little feature there. Also, another thing as well, a quick access to the web. That, so again, you might have some, different sites that you go to quite frequently, social media sites. LinkedIn should be that link that you should have on there. But yeah, this will give you quick access to those websites, so you don't have to type in www and then put in the thing. You'll be able to literally just go into Google Go, have your presets, and make your way straight away, which is good. You can also use Translate as well. This is so good, especially if there are any kind of restrictions to language. This has a translator in here, which is great. And you can also speak your search as well. So if you're trying to look for something and you're not very good at typing, why not just speak? Okay, and it can do the search from your voice. So again, this is quite good. And Google Go you can download on your Android device, and you would be able to have these features on here. So again, this is just, I think, one of the biggest things for me. If there is a problem in terms of your data, you want to just try and optimize it, why not use this app to search for your jobs instead of going through the main web browser that you might have on your phone, and make those presets, okay, maybe to LinkedIn and so on. So again, this is just a good app which is free that might help you when it comes to searching for those jobs. So I'm going to pause for questions. I hope our moderators are doing well. If you guys have any questions for us at all, as we've come to the end of this part of the presentation. So I'd really like to get those questions in. My moderators, I want to thank you so much for just being in the chat and making sure that everyone is good. So if there are any questions at all, please fire away. Let me know as we've reached the end of this part of this presentation. So please let us know. Again, what you can do is you can pop that into the chat and our moderators will then give that to me. I'm going to take a look and I'm going to see if we have questions that I was not able to answer. So I'm going to try and just go through some of these that are here. Moderators, please populate, give us some more questions if there are any that are in the chat. So good question here. How do we get remote foreign jobs? Very good question. So there are different platforms that you can use to basically have yourself, your portfolio, your experience online. And what you'll find is that these jobs, if they are remote, you probably find like, so for instance, I'll give you one or two. So Fiverr is a great job. Potentially it's more for like freelancers, but if let's say you have a unique skill, someone online can actually search through the profiles and see your experience, see your work, and they will be able to, again, just contact you and try and get you to kind of collaborate, work on a project that they might have. So I definitely would say in terms of remote foreign jobs, those platforms like Fiverr, people per hour, you can find that people will post jobs on them. They may not be long lasting jobs, but it's something where you can build up your presence and build up your portfolio, and you will get, again, quite a few people looking at your profiles and maybe coming to contact you so they can maybe have you work for them too. So people per hour and Fiverr. Fantastic question. Thank you for that. Let's take a look at some of the other questions that are here. So how can I identify what set of skills to concentrate on? I think we read that one already. Oh, let's see what else we've got. So how can we identify a scam job? Because lots of times I have searched for jobs online and it happens to be a scam. Good question. We spoke about it before, but just to go over the point, have a look at the company. Go to their website and just check that that is legitimate. Another thing is go onto Google Maps. Make sure that that company, the address exists. Is there reviews on that company? Okay, that's really, really important. So we did speak about that. But again, will there be a session for remote jobs online? We don't have anything as yet, but if we get enough requests, then why not? Yeah, because again, I think many people are quite interested in that one. So thank you. And how can you earn money if you're not logged on to LinkedIn Media? Okay, so how can you earn more money if you are not logged onto LinkedIn? I would say if you're not logged into LinkedIn and you're not using it, I mean, as mentioned, if you do want to use some of the other platforms that we said, CareerJet, all of the other ones that I mentioned. But again, if you want to, as I said before, you could use some sites like Fiverr, people per hour, and have your profile set up on there. And there are many different kind of roles that people remotely do for people. So they could be, marketeers, social media, could be designers, things like that. And you'll be really surprised at how international those websites are. So please do explore and take a look at that. Okay, have a look at some of your other questions before we move on. I have a passion for marketing, but I studied electrical engineering, but I lack the skills. How can I build myself and site to help me? Thank you for that question. So firstly, you've come to the right place, and I would say what you definitely want to check out is the courses that we have with the Grow with Google incentive. So what you'll find is when you do go to this page, and I'm going to give you the link to it. In fact, I might actually have it set up on here so you guys can see it. But this is the page here. So it's learndigital.withgoogle.com. I'm going to give you the link again, but maybe you guys would be able to place this link in the chat for everyone. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it has a series of online marketing courses which you can be certified for. And one of those is the fundamentals of digital marketing. So this is a 40-hour course. And the brilliant thing about it is that if I go to certifications and you do this, you will be able to get yourself certified, okay, and then you can place that on your CV. So please take a look. Other things, if you're really interested in marketing, you'll probably find LinkedIn Learning, and Udemy are places where you can get courses and get certifications on those courses and place them onto your online platforms or online profiles that you need. What are the essential skills to be a digital marketeer? I think being able, if you're going into that, is being able to analyze, being very analytical, and being able to just read kind of the data, I guess, that is coming in, being able to analyze that data and then try to, have different campaigns that are going to try and get to that audience. Also, understanding people, communication skills is a really big thing when it comes to marketing. But just trying to do some of these courses online are going to give you the idea of what might be needed. So I hope this helps. And again, please use these platforms. They are free and available to you guys. So I hope that you can access these, especially the fundamentals of digital marketing, as mentioned. Hopefully, we have the URL which has been placed into the chat so you guys can go ahead and read up a little bit more and take these courses. They're free. Get your certification and place it on your profiles, okay, to help promote yourself and your presence. All right. Well, that has been really cool. I think we've answered all the questions. I want to thank the moderators again. You guys have been fantastic with what's been going on. And we have our next presentation, which will start in a few minutes. And that's going to be build your brand and apply for jobs. Okay, so this is where we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. And that's going to start at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to give you guys just a moment again, just to quickly have a quick little break and come join us again at 2 and we will go through some of those. And again, I hope that this session has been really, really good and that you guys are picking up quite a lot of tips and tricks. Again, thank you to the moderators that are there. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back, Africa. Good to have you guys here. My name's Ashton. If you're just joining us, this will be our third and final presentation, which is going to be one of our best ones, looking at the different ways that you can brand and represent yourself online. So, this is going to be quite good. Please have your notepad and pen waiting because there's definitely going to be some tips that I'm going to give you guys to how you can represent yourself the best way online. Now, as mentioning, we have our moderators in the chat. Good to have you guys here, Manuel, Lizzie on here, and also Lisa. Good to have you guys, Kenya, Nigeria, and London as well is all in here. So again, good to have you guys. If there are any questions, guys, chat. Let's have that chat going on fire. We want you guys to be talking. Any questions you might have, I am going to be pausing for different points, and you guys will be able to give me those questions and I can answer them. So this is an interactive session. Very good to have you guys here, and looking forward to our next presentation, which is about building your brand and applying for jobs online. So let's have a look at this as we go through. So again, if you have any questions, please make sure that that goes over to our moderators in the chat. Okay, so let's get started with this. So, firstly, the objective here is to make sure that what we're placing online is the best representation of us. Okay, and especially when it comes to our CV, this is something that we will be taking a look at. Best ways that you can kind of get your experience, those keywords that the, let's say, different kind of employers are looking for. This is definitely something that, again, you can find we are going to just take a look at in this next hour or so. So again, how you can build your brand and apply it for jobs. So let's take a look at the different modules first. So firstly, managing your digital footprint. Now, if you don't know what that is, we're going to explain a little bit more about what that digital footprint is and the impact that it can have on you. So again, I would definitely say that this is I'll definitely say that this is something that we all need to be conscious of. Second would be the social media and professional profiles. Okay, so we're going to take a deeper look into LinkedIn on this. Also, defining your skills and building your CV. As mentioned, we're going to take a look at how you can kind of use the different templates that we've got in terms of creating your own CV. So please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Keep the chat going. I'm going to definitely be looking forward to your questions that are coming up. Okay, so digital footprint. What does this mean? So, your digital footprint basically is your activity. Everything that you do online, this is your footprint that you're leaving. It's your online history, okay? And this stuff can potentially be found by other people, okay? So, imagine if you go for a job and they do a quick Google search on you and something comes up and you're like, wow, okay, that picture that I took when I went out on Saturday night, I didn't know that that was going to have a problem with me doing stuff. So I would definitely say that, again, you'd want to make sure that your digital footprint is clean and is definitely representing the best part of you online. So we're going to explore this now. We're going to go in a little bit deeper so you guys can find out a little bit more. So how do we leave digital footprints? Now, the 3 points that we'll go into. Social media is one of the biggest things. If we are using Facebook, if we're using, let's say, Instagram, all of these different social platforms, we are actively doing things on these platforms. We are liking, we are commenting. And imagine if we're not being positive online, if we have left a comment, potentially, which could be on a YouTube video, we've left a comment on social media, or maybe someone has tagged us into a picture which is not the best representation of us. This will be left on our digital footprint, and it might be quite easy for someone to come along and search and find this potential post that you could have had online. So this is the first place to start, okay, when we're looking at that. So again, this is interesting. Also, the use of digital devices. So we might find the apps that we're using, the information that we're putting into these apps, some of these might be collected and, you know, be leaving digital footprints as well. based on us. So again, if you are signing up to any particular app, you probably want to make sure that you're giving the right information off, and anything which you want to have personal, you're making it private. We are going to talk a little bit more about this. Also, online shopping as well, if you're leaving product reviews on any kind of purchases that you've bought or anything like that. This is definitely something where people can see those comments. So I really just want to get you guys in the mindset of the activity that you might be doing online, okay? And again, some of the digital kind of footprints you might be leaving online, and again, how that could have an impact on potential jobs that you could be applying for. So we are just going to have a quick little activity here. Okay. Now I need you guys to bring your phone out again. Yeah, bring your mobile phones out, and I'd like you to go into Google, and I'd like you to put your name in the search engine. Okay. And I want you guys to tell me exactly what comes up. Okay. I want to know what is coming up. And now you can look at kind of the web, or you can go to images, and I want to see what comes up. And I want to know if you guys are happy. If everything is fine, then cool, you have nothing to worry about. But does anyone find anything which is unsuitable? I wonder. Okay, so again, I'm just putting that out there. If there's anything which is unsuitable on there. So again, please put it in the chat. Let us know. Uh, put us put it in the chat, please, if anyone. All right, okay. I'm just seeing some of the things that are coming through. So again, yes, please just put that into search. Let's see what comes up. Now, this is just a quick activity to do, but you may be surprised at what comes up. You might really, really be surprised at what comes up on here. So again, what has come up? Let's see. Okay. Now, again, if you can just put one or two of those responses and place it in the chat, our moderators can let me know, and I'll be able to find out a little bit more. But again, just this is just a quick activity just to see what comes up. And if some of you are surprised, if you're not surprised, then okay, no problem. But if you are, what can you do about it? What is the different things? Yeah, and most of the things that are coming up are quite professional. So I'm seeing a lot of LinkedIn profiles, YouTube channels, everything else which is coming up. So quite some positive stuff, which is good to see on here. So what can we do about it if we have found something which is not for us on here? So again, I just want to kind of put it back into your minds that again, employers are going to use social media to screen candidates. So you might find that if you do have some activity online, especially on social media, and we've Googled and we can find you, if there's anything which is on there which is really not good for yourself and is not going to help you to get that job, then we definitely need to be looking and being just knowing exactly where it's coming from, but just know that this is definitely going to be something that we need to be working on, especially as we go on. So just to give you a little example of how employers could be using social media. So 58% will be kind of looking at your likes, your retweets, anyone who's on Twitter or anything like that. They are going to be looking through those, and it's quite interesting to get kind of a profile of the person, really, and to see kind of, yeah, what is the activity, what have they really been saying on here. So 50% will ensure candidates have a professional online persona. So again, if you're not looking professional online and you are applying for roles online, um, definitely need to change that. Okay, definitely need to change that. And 34% will check what other people are posting about the candidate. So again, if you are on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, what is being said about you, and just being able to have that professional kind of presence online will really, really help you. So let's take a look at the ways that we can manage our digital footprints on here. Clean up on content. Definitely. Just by doing a Google search will enable you to kind of find out exactly the source of where it's coming from. So you might find that, again, if someone's posted something on you on social media, it would be to untag yourself or maybe delete that comment, or maybe go to the person maybe potentially that has, ownership of it, and being able to take it down, and if there is any problems, being able also to report that problem on the relevant platform that you might be on. Also, think before you click. Yeah, definitely. If you're like to go really crazy online and kind of say things as, the person was there in front of you and really get upset or things like that, maybe just think about the way that you're saying things, because again, most of this stuff is public. And if it can be found, then that means your employee or anyone else can find and get an impression of you, which potentially could harm you trying to get a job. Also, understanding your privacy as well. So when we come to use services like Facebook or Instagram, or some of the social platforms that are out there, there is an option to have private profiles as well. So one or two people may have a private profile where it's only just for certain members and friends to communicate with. But if we have a public profile and it can be found, then we might need to look at those privacy settings on there. Now, it's also to analyze your current footprint as well. Make sure that, again, just take a look, do a Google search. There is also a website called deceit.me. See if that is also going to be of help to you. And try and be as positive as possible. Try and be that person that the employer would expect, I guess, you to be and behave online. So again, doesn't mean that you can't get your point across, but be positive about it. No foul language, being able to represent yourself the best way. So again, these are just some of the ways that you can manage your digital footprint. And if there's anyone who potentially has perhaps like had any issues, it would be just to go and do that search and find out how you can get rid of it or change it or delete that post. Don't forget, there is also the option of going to your privacy settings as well. And as you can see here with Facebook, anyone who potentially, wants to keep some posts or pictures private, going to the settings of these social media channels would enable you to keep certain things private. I mentioned Instagram. You can have a private profile. Just basically means that whoever's out there is not going to be able to find some of the information that you have. And don't forget, there is things like WhatsApp. So if you really need to say something to someone, you can use the messaging apps and not try and keep it in public. There are different ways that we can communicate, but really keep this in mind, guys, because it's a big thing and many employers are looking at this, definitely. Also, anyone who's using Twitter, Twitter also has an option for some privacy settings as well. So again, try go into those settings, have a look at some of the tweets that you've posted, potentially if anyone is using that. And then also, if you are trying to contact people, there is always DM, direct messaging as well, which is there too. And again, it's just to have a look at your digital presence online using some of these platforms. So what I want to kind of go into next is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn really is a social platform, and it's free. It's social media, but it's all about the professional environment and work. And I want to really just check in. So to the moderators that are in the chat, I've got a question for you guys. So how many of you are already signed up to LinkedIn? Let us know. Give us a yes. Give us a no. Are you signed up to LinkedIn? It'd be really good to know if you are signed up to LinkedIn. All right, it'd be very, 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 very good to know. So again, with the moderators, let us know if you have already got your LinkedIn profile on here. So again, you can just put it into the chat and our moderators will be able to. Yeah, good to see. So the majority of you do use it. I'm seeing coming through on the chat here. So majority of you guys are using it, which is good. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Very, very good. Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic. Good to see. Good to see. Many of us are using it. This is really, really good to see. Very, very good. Right. So again, wow, there's quite a few of us that are on it. So for people who are not on LinkedIn, this is just a really simple process of how you can set it up and have it on your mobile. So you can see here we've got Google Play, which is the app store that you can actually go ahead and download LinkedIn. You can also access LinkedIn at www.linkedin.com. Do a Google search, sign up, and set up your LinkedIn profile. Really, really important. So if you have done all of this already, this are some tips really on just creating that professional profile. So when you sign up to LinkedIn, it is a social media network that focuses on professional networking. But it really is about you having your profile, kind of similar to like your Facebook page or your LinkedIn page, and just putting your experience and having everything kind of showing the best versions of you, having that showing up on there. So again, your profile, your experience, as you can see, network of different people that perhaps you've worked with or you want to connect with. You can have a great kind of group of networks of people. Also, there are groups on LinkedIn too. So if you're really interested in a particular field, why not join a group? And once you're in that group, I'm pretty sure there are a few opportunities and connections perhaps that you can also try to connect with and see what happens there. You can also share content as well. I mentioned this before, but I'm not sure if you guys do this. So I'm going to give you guys another question. Do you guys share content on LinkedIn? Do you find articles that are in your relevant field and you share content? Let us know. Give us a yes or a no if you're doing that. Our moderators are just in the chat, so let us know if you do share anything on there. Because again, this helps quite a lot, you know, again, to be part of the conversation that is based in your field. And if you're not doing this, maybe this is something that you can maybe take a look at, or maybe be part of some of those postings. So when you sign into LinkedIn, you normally would have the post on there. And again, there's no harm in maybe trying to be part of that as well, because it's showing you an interest. It's showing an interest in that field. So why not have a look at some of the postings that are on there and, you know, maybe see who the person is, firstly, who you posted with, and positive comments. Positive comments. If you don't want to comment on it, you could just like it, okay? But again, it could be something that could be good to share those different posts that we have on there. So I just wanted to see if you guys are doing that. But that's one or two things that I know some will do on there. So also just to show you as well, to create a professional profile. Now that headline is really, really, really important. And it's the first thing we kind of look at, you know, on here. So really this is going to be the first kind of impression that someone has on you, and kind of a summary, a quick summary of your experience that you have. Okay, so this has to be quite powerful. It's just a small paragraph, but as you can see in our picture that we've got here of Joe, he basically has just that first part at the top of his profile. So that has to be really, really strong. Maybe take a look at some other profiles out there and maybe, you know, again, see how they've put it together. But this is really, really important. Just moving down, okay, the about section is around about, again, 120 words where you can talk about your experiences. Again, this is mainly to do with what you've done in work, but also some maybe success stories, projects that you've worked on that have done really well, because you can also expose your projects on LinkedIn. So if you have been working within a business or previously you worked in a business, what were the successes while you were there? What projects that were doing really, really well could you then place on your LinkedIn? Okay, this is just going to help. So when someone comes along and they look at that experience, they're going to say, you know what, you have actually been part of this project. It looks like you've been quite successful in doing that stuff. And actually, you've given me an example. I can see exactly where that was. So that's also quite good too. Now, finally on there is experience. So again, if you have been working obviously for a company, put all of that on there and just be very quick and precise and stuff. So again, if it's let's say certain roles that you were doing in that position, kind of list those out, have them there, and what really you were doing. What was the experience that you had, okay, in that role? So again, this is really important, but again, you want to kind of keep it nice and concise. We don't want to make it too much because again, there are so many different profiles that people are looking at. But I would definitely say that that headline is really important. Make sure that is very strong when it comes to your profile. Also, a professional picture. Ensure that that picture that is representing you is a nice, clean headshot. Okay, where you're able to literally just have look professional and it can represent you the best way. That could be the same picture that perhaps again, if you're keeping your Twitter professional, you're keeping your Instagram professional, that kind of headshot that you have there, you could potentially have that go out throughout all of those kind of platforms. But again, this is just to have a professional kind of picture. Again, now if you can't do this yourself, get a friend, get a family member, get someone to go ahead and take that picture of you. But the picture is really, really important on here. So making connections is also a big thing within LinkedIn. Now, what you can also find, I mentioned this, was groups. So there are one or two potential groups that you can be part of and make connections that way. But also you can go potentially to, let's say, like-minded individuals and kind of see if you can connect with them. You can also connect with ex-colleagues. But what's really, really interesting with LinkedIn is that if you find a company that you want to work for, you can go to the company account or company page, and then it will have all of the different employees that are kind of there. And this is where you can see relevant people that perhaps that you would want to connect with and potentially just kind of ask a question. But again, it's always being very professional about this and not kind of, you know, making the wrong impression, especially when it comes online. This is kind of the way that we can treat this as if we were in a room and networking with people. We want to make sure that we set the best impression, especially when we're communicating with our connections that we have on LinkedIn. So just to give you a summary of the LinkedIn success rates, and some of these are pretty amazing to know, and I'm sure that some of you guys will be using LinkedIn right now, as I've seen in the chat, but you can see 40% are more effective than online job boards. So again, just by looking at the job boards on LinkedIn, it's going to be filtered and look at the experience that you have and just give you those jobs which are relevant to you. So you're not going to be wasting time and also applying to things which are not relevant. So again, it's really good. And as mentioned, it will email you from time to time and let you know when those opportunities are available. You can click onto the links within those emails and go straight in. Another thing is 100 mil job applications submitted every month. So again, there's quite a few activity going on there. 112 million users invited for interviews through LinkedIn. So there is definitely a success rate there and hired by someone they met on LinkedIn. So again, those connections are really, really important. So go in, have a look, see who is in your network, join some groups, see what discussions are going on. And if those discussions are great, who is in or part of that discussion, you can easily click on to that person, be taken to their profile, and potentially connect with them. Okay, but again, trying to keep this very, very professional. LinkedIn is very good. So I hope the experience, or another question I can give you guys is, has the experience been good on LinkedIn? So I'll give you another question out there and say, what has been your experience? Has it been a good experience on LinkedIn? Okay, just to know. So how has LinkedIn been for you guys? Just let us know on the chat. Our moderators are in there, but it'd be good to know how you guys find LinkedIn. Has it been good for you? And is it that, would you say, one of your main kind of, I guess, different platforms or main platform that you would go to in order to promote? So again, thank you. Let us know in the chat. Again, it'd be really good to see what people think about LinkedIn. And hopefully some of these tips will help you just to elevate your profile and your presence online. So again, please just take a look at this. Again, it's a quite cool little thing to have on here. So yes, very, very cool on this. So again, our moderators, if there are any questions at all, please put that into the chat because our moderators will be happy to pass those questions on to me. So we'll just keep that there. Okay, so in terms of sharing, I just kind of wanted to bring this point up. So again, if you are going to share any professional kind of social media items, you can see here the do's. You want to post content regularly. So if you are going to be posting, again, it could be something that you find, let's say a post on a person that you follow that you think is really good. You can repost it. Okay, if you're not too sure of what to post, again, I've mentioned keeping it really professional. Again, and especially when we come to LinkedIn, the language that we use, the way that we conduct ourselves online, we really do need to keep it professional. Also, when it comes to just connecting and making relationships with people online, um, it takes time. You need to grow with that. It's something where we can just ensure that we are making connections with people, but we're keeping that communication going on there. And I mentioned before having the professional headshot as well. So again, if you can't take that picture, get someone who can use their phone and take a picture of you, a nice headshot profile, and take that picture of you. Very important. Don'ts. Okay, right. Send relevant messages, criticize others, or being negative. As mentioned, we don't want to be negative. Also, sending messages with "I see you viewed my profile." That's not necessarily the best way to approach a connection. Potentially, you could be looking at your profile. And again, anything that's personal, especially on LinkedIn, maybe we need to leave that to those other personal social media platforms. This is a professional platform. So again, just bear some of this in mind. And then just in terms of sharing content, again, if you are going to be sharing content with people, it really does create a perception of your mindset and what you're thinking about. So please bear that in mind. Hashtags are also used on these platforms too. So again, if you are using a hashtag and you put that on your post, you are then part of that conversation, which is really, really important. People love pictures, they love video as well. So if you can post anything which is visual, anything which has video or a reposting of a video is really, really good. And again, if you see any posts and you want to interact, you could easily just like the post or you can write a comment, but just bear in mind that this is a professional environment. We want to make sure that we're leaving the right impression on there too. So again, very, very important to have. All right. So I just want to give you guys some examples, okay, of some posts that may not be right. So can you guys let me know what you think, or let the moderators know in the chat. Let us know what you think could be wrong with these posts. So I'm going to give you a moment just to take a look at them. And it would be good just to get your idea on how not to really be kind of posting on here. So you can see we've got Joe Soap, who is saying is so happy listening to TFT while preparing to work. And again, there's one or two other things which are on there too. So what is a nice status update? How stupid can you be? You can fool me, but when you act in a total disrespect to all of the hardworking people abusing the environment, then you have crossed the line. So what do you guys think? I'm gonna just quickly take a look and see what you guys think on there. And again, you can see, just put it in the chat, let us know. And it will be really good just to get your ideas on this. But again, I'm showing you this because it's an example of how we can really cross that line when we're looking at professional stuff. And we're then in an environment, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, and we're putting our personal things on here too. So again, hopefully you guys can see this. It's quite small. I can see that someone has said this, so we will try and make this visible. What I could also say as well was that with this, if anyone can potentially take a screenshot, maybe you could look at it, but it is a bit difficult. I can see that some of you might have an issue trying to see this, so we'll make a note of this on here. But again, guys, this is just an example just to show you of some of the things that, again, people have been posting on just the way that you should really be behaving when it comes to this. So again, apologies for it not being visible, but yes, we will definitely have that improved on here for the coming presentations. Right, I want to pause for questions because I think you guys have one or two questions for me. So I will just take a look. So if you do have a question, you can go ahead and literally post in the chat so we can go ahead and literally answer them. So I'm going to get started. Again, apologies for the small font there. It's very difficult for you guys to see. So I do apologize for that. But let's have a look at these first questions. So how can one erase information he or she has put on some websites, or is it possible to delete yourself from some apps you have you have your information on? Very good point. So to the first point that you've got here, thank you for your question. So how can you erase information he or she has put on some websites? So if you have put information on the website, it's literally going back to the site, seeing if you were the person who posted it, you can delete that. Okay, you can delete that for everyone. So again, I would say definitely this. Okay, yeah, definitely this is. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. Just want to make sure that the sound is okay if you guys can't hear me. But yes, I will be speaking a lot louder if you guys are not able to hear me on here. So just to mention again, uh, when it comes to this question in terms of information, go back to the website, go back to the site and see if you were the person who posted it. If you didn't post, okay, it would be then to go to the owner of the site and just make that request, okay, to take that down, okay. Especially if it's about you, you definitely have the option to go in there and just either report it or go to the person who is running that web page and make sure it's fine. Another thing as well, I would say if there are any apps or profiles perhaps that you've signed up to that you just, there's things on there you want to get rid of, I would definitely suggest literally deleting or get rid of that profile. Go into the profile, go into the app and see if there's an option to delete that. Okay, so again, very important with that. Okay, and some other things just to point out on here. So we've got another question. Hopefully I've answered that question for you. Will a potential employer be in a position to check my details if I use a nickname instead of my real name on social media? Good point. I would say that if there's any affiliation with your professional name or your name that you have out there or a professional profile that has a connection to that nickname or your name is connected to it, then yes, that would definitely have a problem. And I would definitely be looking to make that profile private. Make it private. That is really, really important. Okay, if you don't want to share it out there and you want to keep it safe, make it private. Most of the social media platforms have a private option. So make it private. Really important. Keep the questions coming. Really, really good. Let's see what else we have here. Does the type of network matter, i.e., linking with executives versus recent graduates? No, I don't think so. I think it's good to connect with whoever you can. Have a big connection or big group of people. Again, you might find those graduates. There could be a connection that later on in the future you could call upon. It's about having a really big, good, professional network of people on LinkedIn. So thank you for that question. Okay, based on digital footprint, how do I clear out all unprofessional comments I've made during the years back, or I've made throughout the year? So bearing in mind that I won't remember all. So what I would say to you at that point is do a Google search. First thing, do the Google search. Have a look and just really go through it. Look at the images, look at the web search. Try and find out exactly where it's coming from and then remove it. Go to the source and remove it. You can also use certain tools that are out there like deceit.me. I'm sure you guys have placed this into the chat, my moderators. I'm sure you've placed it into the chat. So please, if you can, make sure that you go to a website like that. And what it does is it scans the internet, scans your social posting, and make sure that, again, you can see it, you can see the source, and you can delete it. Okay, so very, very important. Thank you. Really good question. Thank you. Is there any online document to guide me in building a professional LinkedIn profile? Yes. I would say what you could do is you can go into search, and there's probably going to be, or maybe YouTube. You could probably go to YouTube, and there are many, many, many different videos on YouTube that will talk to you about how to get the most out of LinkedIn, the best ways to approach employers on LinkedIn. So again, I could definitely say that just at your fingertips right now, just putting in that question into YouTube will give you, again, some content, some videos, and also, yeah, okay. And I'm just seeing here that site that people want to know about. So, deceit.me, okay, um, is the site. So sorry, just to go back onto that. Yeah, but deceit.me was what I mentioned before. But sorry, going back to the question about how, a guide of a LinkedIn profile. What I would say is, again, try and just do a search. There is definitely going to be an article, or there will be a video. Loads and loads of videos I've seen on YouTube that will help me to understand how I can optimize and get the most out of LinkedIn. So guys, please do take a look at that. Thank you for your questions. It's cool. Good to see you guys. Africa, it's nice to see your questions coming through, and great to see that most of you are using LinkedIn. Okay, so thank you so much for your questions. I definitely want to recommend that, again, if you do have any questions, please just put that into the chat. Our moderators are going to be able to answer it for you. If they can't answer it, then they will put it into the chat, and I'm going to have a go when we have another pause. All right, so let's move on. Let's keep going. So next, what we're going to do is take a look at CV, the best way that you can represent yourself on your CV. So this is quite good because we're going to be looking at different ways, different keywords, and so on. So let's take a look at that. So firstly, building your CV, these are just some of the elements of your CV. So firstly, the personal information. Okay, when we look at a CV, this is pretty much what we've got. Our full name, which is on here, but then also we've got the contact information as well on here. So just to kind of let you guys know about that, contact information, header and summary, kind of similar to what we have in LinkedIn. In terms of experience, work experience, academic history and achievements, maybe including those certificates perhaps that we spoke about online, making sure that that is also shown there on your CV. Strengths that you guys may have, so personal skills and soft skills that you might have, again, which is going to be relatable back to the job that you're looking for. And also hobbies and interests, again, that you can place on here that really gives you and shows you in the best possible way to the employer that is coming to have a look at your profile. So when we look at personal information, I just kind of want to bring this up. It's this information that we've kind of split it into two here that you can see. So information about you, general information would be, again, your age, your nationality, driver's license. These are some of the additional things that you can have, but the name, the address, and then also ways that they can contact you as well. So your phone number and your emails. A suggestion to you guys is, if you have a LinkedIn profile, why not take the URL, so that is the web address, the personal web address of your LinkedIn profile, and place that onto your CV. Okay, so it's just a link that someone can click to and then be taken to some additional information about you. So again, this is just some options of personal information that you can have on here. Now, looking at experience, it's very easy to kind of say, okay, well, yeah, I worked at this job from this time to this time, but let's try and break it down a little bit. And also try and look at the role that you're going for and relate it back to the experience that you have. You want to show that experience so it looks to the employer, hey, you've done some stuff which could involve computers management, or it could be coding or anything like that, which is then trying to show the employer that you have that experience. So again, what did you do? First question, what were you doing in that role? Okay, so just a brief summary of your day-to-days of what you were doing in that role. The second question would be, what did you achieve? Now, I mentioned this before. If there was, let's say, any projects that done really well when you were there, any achievements when you were there in that role, is that something that you can place on your CV which is going to highlight you even more? So again, this is that question, what did you achieve? So that is definitely something I would be placing onto my CV. And how does the role relate? So again, when we're thinking about the job that we're trying to go for, if we're placing things on the CV which is not necessarily relatable and making that a big highlight on our CV, this is not going to happen really well for the employee, because they're going to look and they go, well, what connection has that got to do with me? Okay, being actually trying to get you in as a person working in my establishment. We want to make sure that everything, all the experience that you've got, is definitely going to be something that they can connect back with that job role. So keywords are also a big thing. So you might find that, again, looking at your experience and looking at some of the skills that you have, if you can narrow this down to these keywords, we've got some examples that are showing up here, but you can see we've got, firstly, video editing, project management, all of these things. You'll normally find that when you go onto one or two job sites or so on, they are sieving and looking through keywords that are placed on your CV. And those keywords, I'll just say, definitely the keywords you may find are in the job description. Okay, so if you have something that they've posted for the job role, then why not try and match it up with some experience that you have? So again, I would definitely say just make sure that you have relevant keywords to the experience. And again, what you can see here, you've got the preparation of food, team leadership, logistics, visual design. All of these keywords are really, really applicable and should be placed throughout your CV. So other things just to take a look at, looking at translating experiences to strengths. So again, you might have had a tangible experience where you've been working on a previous job, and it's again something which you've picked up through either education or life or just going through work. And it's also just having a moment to reflect and look back at what you have achieved. What did you do in that role? Because sometimes we might just pass it off, say, yeah, I worked at this role, but you're not really looking at the day-to-day that you were doing, and really think about some of the stuff that you're doing, because sometimes we might just oversee this. We might just see it as like everyone kind of does this. It's nothing special, but it's definitely something to just think about and reflect about. And again, what skills can be transferred over to this new position that you're looking for? So it can be the fact that it's a soft skill or a hard skill, okay, in there. It could also be something where you've worked within a team, you've analyzed data, anything like that. What type of transferable skills can you look at in your existing employment or existing experience and try and connect that with the skills for this new job that you're going for? So again, some of these strength keywords that you can see here on this. So enthusiastic, helpful, self-motivated, driven, self-focused. These are fantastic strength keywords that you can have placed on the CV. Again, analytical, dependable, passionate. Here are just some examples. So I would definitely say, if you can, take a note of some of these and try and relate it back to the experience or the job roles that you've had. So again, this is really, really, really important. Now I have a question for you, okay? I want you guys to really think about it. I want you to think about, what are your top 3 strengths and why, okay? So again, if you have a notepad and pen, please just really think about it, or maybe write down this question and come back to it at a later time when you're ready. But really try and answer this question. What are your top 3 strengths? It's not something which is easy. I, could sit here and maybe go, I need to really think about that. But again, what do you reckon your top 3 strengths and why, okay, are these top 3 strengths? Now, again, if you know what they are, you might want to place one or two of them in the in the chat here. So again, if you know what these are, you can place one or two of them in the chat. But again, maybe looking at some of those words that have been placed on the presentation, that will just give you an idea of the best way that you can literally go and promote yourself in terms of your top strengths that you have on there. So again, thank you guys. What are your top three strengths? Place your answer if you know them. Put them into the chat. Okay, let's see what you guys come up with. And if you can't answer this, then please make a note of this question. Take some time and have a look at your experience. Okay, so again, I'm seeing one or two questions or points even coming up on here. So again, please keep them going. The chat is going well. Our moderators are doing quite well out there. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's move on to creating a CV. So again, if any of you guys don't have a CV, like literally you're working on it right now, or maybe you need to revise your CV, this is some tips on how you can do this. Now, firstly, Google Docs is free. If you have a Gmail, you have access to go to Google Drive, which is one of the free services that Google offers. Now, you can go into Google Docs. So this is a place which is basically like a word processor. Okay, so you would be able to open up this word processor, and everything sits online, which is fantastic. So it means that, you know, I could do a document on my computer, but then I can also access this on my mobile phone as well. So this again is a great free service that you can find if you have a Google account. Okay, so just to recommend you take a look at this. Now, I have taken a look at some of the templates in terms of the Google Docs, in terms of CVs, and they are amazing. They really look professional, clean, and very simple. Okay, so just to talk about how we can create a CV using Google on here. So you can see here, firstly, is to download Google Docs. So if you are using your mobile, you can download Google Docs from the App Store. Okay, and then what will happen is it will have a template option. So as soon as you download it and you go in, it's going to present you with templates. Look for the CV templates. There's some really nice ones that we've got there. And then also what you can do is take the information perhaps that you have an existing document, your existing CV, and just copy and paste them and get it to look quite nice within the template. Maybe add some more additional things. Really think about the job role that you're trying to go for, and again, what is applicable, what does the employer want to see out of the experience that you have? What does the employer want to see? Okay, and again, what's great is once you've created this, you can save it as a PDF. You can download this document if you want to. Your CV could download it. You can also send this out as a Word file as well directly. So Google Docs does a conversion for you. It actually converts your documents into Word, PDF. It even has the option to email that out. Okay, so again, I would definitely say Google Docs is great, especially if you want to create a CV. Now, as mentioned, if you're trying to do this on a mobile device, you can see here, this is like some screenshots of just using the Google Docs on your mobile phone. So again, it's free, you can download it. You'll see that literally there are very many templates, the same templates we have if we're looking at a, let's say, a desktop version of Google Docs. So you can see here, very easy for you to edit on here, and very easy for you to share and export. So I mentioned before, if you wanted to share this document out, or the CV out, you can actually go ahead and share it in various different forms, and you can download it as well. All of this is free, and the templates are great. Now, again, if you don't have a lot of space on your phone, on your device, you might want to use these free different apps on here. So we're going to start off with Google Files. So this is great because it actually helps save, okay, just the space that you might have on your device. So it makes you look at all of the storage and just ensures that you're using the space wisely. Another thing that I could definitely recommend is Google Drive. Okay, now Google Drive is free. Again, anyone who has a Google account, a Gmail, the Drive is there, and the Drive is like your online storage space. Okay, so what that means is that you can store your documents, your pictures, what have you, all into the cloud remotely. This is also good as well because let's say that your phone goes, you lose your phone, or let's say that the internet or something goes wrong, something's not there, and you lose that file from your phone or your device. You can go to another device, log in with your Google account, and you'll be able to find and retrieve those documents again because it's cloud based. It's not saving it on your device. So you can have it saved on your device, but it also helps if you are doing it via the cloud. It saves space on your device as well. So again, really cool. These two different applications that you can download from the Play Store, and you'll see Files by Google is one of them, and also Drive, Google Drive, and you'll need to have a Google account, which is free to get set up on these. So I'm going to pause for questions right now, and let's just see what you guys have for me in there. So let's see what questions you guys might have. Wow, there are so many questions that we've got on here. So, okay, is there any online document to guide me in building a professional LinkedIn profile? We kind of had that question already, sorry, but I mentioned that as video, so, but good question. All right, what if I didn't use my professional name across all social media platforms? Um, that's okay if you're not using your professional name, but just know that if it is connected in any way to you, and it's a path for someone or an employer or someone to kind of discover that profile, then maybe you might want to make that profile private. Okay, so only certain people that will be able to find it. Okay, so privacy is a big thing on there. Is it professionally ethical to have two or more LinkedIn accounts? I would stay with the one. I'll definitely stay with the one because if someone is trying to search for you and they find two or three accounts, doesn't really give the best impression. So let's try and keep that to one profile. Even if you've done different things, you can still kind of place that on your CV, but gear it towards the position that you're trying to go for. Good question. Next question. What's the difference between a CV and resume? They are the same thing. Okay, it's just different names. Can you throw light on cover letters and personal statements? Yes, we are going to be talking about cover letters next. So good question. You're definitely bringing that in, which is great. Let's see what else is here. Is it ethical to keep on modifying keywords on professional roles on CV so as it suits different job adverts? Good point. I definitely would try and keep it consistent. I would not be trying to change those keywords all the time. If you feel that you're going for a particular role and relevant keywords, or the responsibilities, you want to make that more prominent, then sure, go for it. But don't keep changing, because again, you might find that an employer might come back to your online profile and discover that you've changed it. Doesn't necessarily give the best impression, but very good question. All right, let's keep these questions going. Thank you to the moderators as well, keeping this going. This is great. Right, what is the ideal number of pages for a CV? Two, I would say. Any more than two, hopefully you guys think the same way, but I say two is the best thing. And try and make it very short, concise, but think about the role that you're going for and try to aim it at that. Okay, so very good question, two. Could you help us with the ideal format of a CV? Good point. I would definitely say if you go onto the website that I mentioned before, which is the Grow with Google website. So you can see here, I'm just going to bring it back up again, which is Digital Skills for Africa. So that's learndigital.withgoogle.com. There is definitely a course and some resources there on the best way that you can kind of get your CV to look great and represent you the best way. So please head over to that site on there, because again, that's gonna definitely help you out with that. Okay. Let's see. All right, and the last question that we've got Is it okay to add my picture and specific address to my CV? Good point. I want to leave that to people in the chat room and what you think would be ideal. Would you place your picture on your CV? Okay, just to kind of put that out there to everyone who's in the chat. Do you think it's a good idea to do that? In terms of a specific address, totally up to you. I think some people will just put their email address on there. It really depends on the type of job you're going for and how much information you want to reveal to that job posting. Okay, so again, it's totally up to you, but as long as there's some form of contact, could be a phone number, your email address, your LinkedIn profile, URL, that is something maybe to be looking at. Right, thank you for those questions. They are great. Thank you to the moderators as well. You guys are doing a fantastic job. We are now going to push on into the next part of our presentation. Keep those questions coming, guys. It's really cool, and the moderators will then try to answer them in the chat or would be able to send them off to me for the actual pause that we have. Okay, so cover letters. Now, again, really, really important to get this right as well. And I think a lot of us might struggle with cover letters, but you can see here, a cover letter is an easy way to stand out from the crowd that lets your employer know and learn about you, okay? But also kind of putting what your experience might be and placing that, okay, to just, represent kind of and relate back to what the employer is asking for. So your experience that you might have, okay, and then relating it back to kind of the response or the responsibility that they're looking for will help. So we're going to go into this a little bit deeper. Okay, so 45%, just to let you know, of recruiters will say that there is a lack of cover letters will result in a rejected CV. Okay, so that is very true, definitely. I always would like to put a cover letter together, especially if I'm submitting for a job. So what are the best ways that we can get a cover letter to work for us? What is the templates perhaps that we could use? So here is just the summary, guys, of how you could structure your cover letter. So you can see here we've got the first building blocks that are showing up. So hi, hello, dear, intro, summary, problem versus solution, achievements, okay, and then we also have some other bits as well. Okay, so you can see here relevant achievements and sign off. So let's keep going. Let's see what this is now. I do apologize. We are just running over a little bit with time with this, but hopefully you guys will be okay with this. So just to quickly go through a cover letter building block here. So you can see firstly, just how you open up that cover letter. Okay, how do you address that person? If you know them or if you don't have a person's name or contact, will determine on the best way that you can introduce that first cover letter. So again, pretty interesting to see what you guys could use. Another thing here is, as you can see, the introduction. Who are you? Okay, and what job are you applying for, and where did you hear about it? Could be some other additional things that you can place into that first introduction paragraph that we've got on here. A summarization of yourself. So as you can see, you can describe what's important to you. Okay, it could be what you're good at, what you enjoy, and why are you applying for this particular role. So again, you can see here, these are just some of the points. You can jot these down, write them down, and this is the summarizing block. Problem versus solution. So you probably noticed that, okay, the employer has a problem. They need someone to come in and fulfill that problem, okay, and help them with it. So again, if they have a problem, how can you solve it? With the experience and everything that you know, how can you solve that problem, okay, that they have? They will place that problem in the job description. So again, take a look at it and see how you can match it up, okay? But again, you can see that is quite interesting. The next block, block 5, is relevant achievements. So just stating maybe if you've done that online course and you have the certification, then why not go ahead and place, just talk about it. Say that I have recently completed an online marketing fundamentals course by Google. Okay, sounds good, right? If you're going for marketing role or something like that. And then also how you can sign off as well. So I'm honored to be considered for this position. I look forward to hearing from you. please let me know if you would like any more information about me. That's a really nice way to sign off this particular cover letter. So you can see here, this is actually it might be a little bit tricky for us to show you this example, because this is actually an activity where we wanted you to just take a look at this cover letter here and try and match where you think the introduction is, where you think the relevant achievements are, and so on. But again, I think you guys might have trouble trying to read the text on here. So again, it might be a bit tricky. So what I would say is, this is something that perhaps if you can take a screenshot and be able to zoom in and just have a look in your own time and match it up. But we also have basically the results of that too. So again, if we're looking at this cover letter as an example, you can see here that we've actually placed where we think the intro points are, summarizing yourself, the problem versus solution, relevant achievements, and also the sign off as well. So guys, what I will say is, if you can take a screenshot, if you can, and just at the end try and zoom in and take a look at this. I do apologize, as this needs to be just a little bit larger for us, but again, hopefully this gives you an idea of the best way to structure that cover letter. So again, just to go through those points, hi is the intro, depending on who that person is. Do you know them? Okay, is the way that you would address them. Introduction, summarization of yourself. Okay, problem versus solution, again, as you can see. So what is the problem that they might have? Relevant achievements, and a nice way to sign off your letter as well. So again, I'm just going to read you that sign off that we've got here, and it says, "I'm really honored to be considered for this position. I look forward to hearing from you, and please let me know if you would like any more information about me." Okay, so again, this is quite a nice way to sign off on this particular cover letter. Right, so I want to ask, is there any questions that have been given to our moderators on here? So is there any questions? I'm seeing one or two that have come through. Again, please pass these on to our moderators and they'll be happy to put this in. So firstly, I've got this question here. So is there an online CV maker? And can we have it? Okay, so online CV maker, there is Visual CV, I believe. This is more of like a kind of, it has like a look, it gives it kind of like a visual look, but Visual CV is one of them. Obviously, Microsoft Office obviously has that. Google, we have Google Docs, which is doing that as well for you guys. There also is an opportunity, if you use some of these platforms like LinkedIn, that they actually can have a link that connects you to a online CV maker. Okay, so again, there's just some of them, but CV Visual or Visual CV, I think that's right. You can take a look at and see if that can help you. But it's just to look at those templates. But good question, thank you. What's the difference between a? Okay, no, we've seen that one. Let's keep going. I've answered that one. Is it okay? No, we've seen that. What's the ideal number? Is it okay to admit? Yep. Okay. All right. Cool. Right. Well, it seems like some of those questions. Right. I'm gonna get to that last question, which is the best template to choose for a CV? Clear, simple. It's got to be clean and simple, and just show the information. It cannot kind of distract your eye away from the information. If it's too busy, if there are too many colors, try and stay with the same font and maybe bold things that you want the eyes to kind of roll onto. But don't, use too many different fonts. Don't make it too fancy. Don't make it too jazzy. Make it really simple. Use bullet points, okay? Stay with the same font and try and make it short and concise. Okay, so let's see what other, I'm seeing some other things coming through here, some other questions. Is there any difference between a cover letter and an application letter? Good point. Now, a cover letter you might find could be optional, basically. Could be optional. Could just be this additional thing. Don't necessarily have to do it, but it's optional. But I would say it's definitely something that you definitely want to do within that. In terms of an application letter, they may have sent or may have questions, or they may have a potential thing that they're looking for within the application letter. So if they've said, okay, you need to have an application letter, look at that description of what they're asking for within that application letter. Okay. But I would say that a cover letter is really optional for you. Okay, it's optional, but I would say it's definitely something that you definitely should do. Definitely have that, but then try and look at what they're looking for and relate it back to your experience. It is definitely going to help make the application a lot stronger. Okay, and which one is preferable between printed and handwritten cover letter? I would say as long as it's clear and simple. Printed is the best, I guess, because it's quite professional. But I would definitely say that if you have nice, clear handwriting, sure, you can do that. But it really depends on the type of job that you're going for. And again, if this is anything which is to do with computers, online, anything like that, you definitely want to have it to be printed or have a digital version of it, because it then showcases and highlights that you do have that ability to use kind of digital and be able to write those letters or write the CV that way. So very good question. Thank you. Is it advisable to have a cover letter for all job applications? Yes. Do not have the same job application, or let's say do not have the same cover letter for all of the jobs that you're applying for. Look at the jobs, and it really makes it personal, and it shows the employer that you've actually looked at the role and you've taken some time to look at it and understand it, and you've then reflected that within your cover letter. So again, I would say that that's really, really important. And this is I'm glad that someone actually mentioned this. Actually, I'm very happy with this. Must the cover letter be an attachment? Right. So normally when I've delivered these sessions, especially when it comes to cover letter attachments, um, some people might actually place the cover letter inside the body of the email, okay, and then have the attachment of their CV on there. And you've got to think, really, there's no wrong or right, but you've got to think what is going to be easy for the employer to come along and review. If it means that they have to double click and open up an application to get to the cover letter, it might take some time. And imagine if they've got loads and loads of things to look at, it might get in the way. But again, it's not a must, but it could be something that, again, you put into the body of the email that you're sending off to them, or you could attach it. But just bear in mind that the more steps that they have, it could, again, they might move on to something else because they know that this is taking just a bit of time to get to that cover letter. But there's no wrong or right there. It's totally up to your discretion and what you'd like to do with that. Okay, well, I think in terms of questions, we are good. We are totally over time. It's been a pleasure having you guys definitely on the chat, and I really do appreciate some of the questions that are coming through. You guys are super, super cool. Just giving me those questions. I'm hoping that the responses are also helping everyone else in the chat as well. So again, really cool. So we're going to come away from the questions, and I'm now going to recommend what your next steps should be. So just to reflect back on the entire 3 presentations that we've had, firstly, the internet is a great tool of resource. Some of us may feel that we are not able to get to that job role, but just researching, using some of the different kind of, let's say, resources, videos, articles, things to help us in terms of just expanding our knowledge on that role and perhaps getting certifications and so on. All of this could be done online. Having a look at some of those different roles, okay, that are available. Look at all of the skill sets and try to match that up, okay, with, again, what you guys have done. So again, if you're trying to match up, again, some of the different skill sets with the experience that you have, very important. So again, with this particular one as well, making sure that we're representing ourselves the best way with the online platforms for jobs. LinkedIn, we spoke a lot about. looking at our digital footprint as well, and ensuring that we are the best kind of version online. We have no negative stuff and things that are going to kind of take us away from getting that job. So again, that is really, really, really important. I would definitely say to take a look at your digital footprint. Also, what are your key top skills? Have a look at your experience and try and think, okay, well, I've done this. What was the skills that I gained, and are they transferable to that job that I'm trying to go for? Okay, so again, these are just some of the next steps that I would say, and I'm still getting a couple more questions coming through. I'm going to take one more question. So, what aspects should I highlight the most in my cover letter to make myself stand out to the recruiter? Very good question. Last question. I would definitely say that what you want to do is read the job description. Really think about the problem versus solution. Look at what you have in terms of experience and try to relate that back to what they're looking for, what they're looking to have solved. So please, that's one of the things I would definitely say. Go back and just have a look at the job description and use that template that we had up and try and relate it back to what they're looking for. Remember, you are offering a service. You're offering your services, and again, you would be able just to make sure that you can solve the problem that they have. So again, this is something I would definitely say is important for you guys. But very good question. Thank you so much. Now, also, what I would like you guys to take a note of is the URL which is on this presentation. So you can learn more at learndigital.withgoogle.com/digital skills courses. Okay, and this is where you can find loads of courses. Some of these will give you a certificate. Okay, they are accredited courses. I've also mentioned LinkedIn also has a learning platform. Udemy is another place. Skillshare. The internet is a place of resources. Okay, so please use this to the best of your knowledge. And again, this is going to help you guys out to try and just use digital to expand and get the most out of your abilities that you can showcase to your employers or your future employers that you have. I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure. I want to say thank you to the team that's been working in the background, the moderators. I want to say a shout out to Izzy in Kenya and also Emmanuel in Nigeria, Lisa who's in London, the Google team as well in Africa and Africa as well. It has been a major pleasure to host these sessions with you guys, and I really hope that you've learned so much gathered some tips and tricks, or maybe learned a lot, and I've helped you guys, and I just wish you all the best in trying to get to that position and get to the place which is going to make you happy and get to that job. Okay, so again, if there is anything that you guys just want to mention, the moderators are in the chat. I'm going to be signing off, but again, please visit us at g.co/digital skills. It has been a pleasure. My name is Ashton. I'm one of the Google trainers. I'm based here in London, but it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys in Africa, and I wish you all the best. Good luck.